Maybe sa Kofi Asembi. Na minim senka uko school a churchfo a ebekire wade. Ene empo eye facilities e wo school ho. Sebia enkonya papa bi, fan papa bi bow. A churchfo no so akwadare wo mo hwese wani beko adusua ho. De wo so mo kire wo no mo kire wo yie. Wo mbebe tufu tufu pa. Se be ya ubetimi enyina be panimpa na ne ye bi wo ha wo ye free wakwan mu na nei eya koye se Ghana asa yenya new discovery bi Isaac Newton eya ne discovery wie no law of gravity na chi no okotena apodua bi ase a o propound eya law of gravity o wie ye no Ghana for so MC so yenya a new invention Ghana for so ya dane ho philosophers any inventors ya the new invention aba nti nei enkomo no ya drift kakra every say uko school a eye church for ni facilities a e wo school ho no na e boa mo adesua akonkan e ya drift kakra ti no be radio stations ahodo so na obi e kana dwen na obi e kana dwen e fa adesua ho enwoma sua na obi e kana de na nra because you are bi mu kodi dwuma bi na ye gina ho a ye di ye twen se service a ye ko hwe ne yensa beka no na enam se ye campus ntino students bi wo ho panimfo bi so amo so aba ho na students no nkoma wo mu die no na pani bi etwe na so na sa na otie bi na me so bi gina ho bi intimity an se pani no ayi na ebie na no na wa ye ne space yie o se mrantie ensem ni bi ho am ye mfa ne tra o mama mfa ne tra san say education enwumasua enye se wo ko school no akọ pass nso hwe nko akeke o dabi university na wo ho no e wo ho se be shape ya dwene e be shape ya akoma ene ye nsa nyina se be chama nsa no adwuma na enye se wo betwa nso hwe nko akeke dabi san say university a e be dane fashion ye de ahosiesie na e be kọ no sa university no entimi fanfa so bi amre yen obana sama waka no e wo mpa enti students no afi no attention aba ho braba ku gina nchen o se papa de wo kenkan no kure nanso so mahwe bibia hunu se Ghana ha sei corruption ketashi shebebre ba ekoso o Ghana ha sei no mi hunu obia ase ne ho atete ena oye ya ye de sa so bono omo ye de sa so bono bo omo nyina ye omo a ubehu so abone tie wotwi na tade so kama enso na dwene no ontwi so wotwi atade no polish ni shoe kama ba baby a kire no wo hu se sa adwene no de wanto so adwene no nya polish adwene de amoamoa enti kwa du no a ye de bo omo ye corruption omo ye corrupt we na we enkoye pani we wa disika pani we wi sika no enye wo mo a wo matade atete ene ye na ye kasa akire wo na ye kafa wo mo enti papa na no akire sen enti ye ko school no university na ntimi anshepu ya dwene ntimi anshepu ye nsa ntimi anshepu ye ne ye ama sesei obi wo university obi awie university owie konye ekoye adwuma yes oye corrupt okonya position wa ban ni mu a oso oye corrupt enti where do we draw the line na papa say wo so dia waka no wo mu afei na akoye ase obi asa ayasre
Last week,
no, yeah.
So I want to apologize again. They see, I see me from Sanction. Production is being sensible to me.
What's up with one crack?
And then some of the doors. And let me issue this case, as I'm not a lawyer. And they said, not a clue, you know, made them a kind in.
Okay.
As at Friday, no, my kind, as at Thursday, my kind 30 pages. Friday, maybe I love it from a breakdown. I'm a kind 48 pages. I'm a team. You could do if you bear one, and I'm a team kind of cram. That bear 1 hour been a media ban. So, but me who a summary by Professor Kwekwaza, and I think that it makes perfect sense based on what I usually say to have read.
Okay, that
does not mean that lawyers you can give them two provisions of the Constitution. The interpretations will vary. So that is his interpretation, and that is an interpretation I usually say to agree, having read the judgment myself.
Okay.
I don't know what
yes.
So let me issue that caveat so that someone will not come and say that way, and I don't want to take credit for somebody's work. It's not my right. But Abraham Madam said that he was acquitted and discharged, and acquitted and discharged basically she cannot be charged for the same offense.
Okay.
Yes, if you be left a double jeopardy. Yes, it's the law of natural justice.
That's right.
You cannot trial the same person on the same charges twice. The court say acquitted me
okay.
Say be a discharge, say be a there be charge the defense and cobra. But to acquit and discharge me you go so be some viewer me
okay.
I will explain why.
Okay.
Na two attorney once a man for blame Godfrey so be true statement me minimum way be blame way. I don't think me view say u blame me no na I was explain with document why me dream say you see there be am jana me kase me say oral cases no oye attorney general deputy obetumi akasa ne okasa but at the end of the day the person to give the verdict to weigh the evidence you presented and what the accused person has equally presented will be the court.
Okay.
Mamu example, me YouTube channel the critical analyst. And I can say Hanan Okaya Judge Ruli what kind of letter no? Said in Qatar any problem on Kwabuchiri.
That's right.
That's what the judge said. What do you want the Attorney General to do? What's Qatar? Nani it will go UK. The judge granted.
Judge Amano Quine.
Enti no say wo bufu na ka say bia Attorney General Godfrey Dame and I say ayenia mimi you say to them again say far fetch.
Okay.
Because they will present a case. The case is for someone to decide. As a FM, Kukurantumi. Say you never say come here never but decision in me ho. If you listen and blame say you Juma, I don't take that decision. Kuku say could take that decision.
Yes.
So the one who takes the final decision in my view should be the one you question.
That's it. And it's very important say Nippon a court system now.
Exactly.
And until you can say Abaya Jai said na Abaya Jai said na.
Yes. But me blame one because none will be.
Okay.
You
can be. That's right.
Bibi say no kete akoko akọ the jam am ka say suko no man na wo ka say the kete na say because I knew because this is senior is that make us me surprise and me yemra
that be
me surprise and be man said na tamaklu why can't I no pay crime to say bit me you know because no stay of execution appeal court and fair ruling
yeah
me ba to what here
sure
entina ya dwen de tire bia me ka say ya dwen kire mamu another example it's Dennis Miracle you are no closer to Dennis Miracle than me you but me can say prosecute why. Because the then is called quarter. And when you be the brief fact of the case.
Sure.
Say the then is at the end 5.2. You could say 55. Deputy Attorney General Crasso, no more ban cry a boss. Meboa. By a quarter. And Ampratwum shirt here black. Ampratwum shirt here white. Yes, Ampratwum here rasta. Yes, Ampratwum here tuntum. A quarter. Brief fact of the case. The one you be one.
When you can't 70 years.
Yes. And when I me say, and I will say, and you are buying me penny say we and I fact no.
Jackrami and you some court.
Exactly. And you can prosecute to be and yes, then is co jail and answer so much co jail. Me you say to na there be there's co jail. And obey me cook and I want to make co jail. Into how we need how. There's no bearing on my life. That's all. But so we person who no krena court. I know the positives of it. When the matter goes to court, when I charge you also have opportunity to
defend yourself.
Evidence.
That's right.
But you see, suddenly when I was reflecting on it this dawn, I said, "Me yati OSP I say in the Kenofria Tamata."
Oh, okay.
But I can't true to mama. Say metro. I said, "Me yati OSP taxes be an person who Kenofria. The bro so person use one tias a warm ran. Me yati I say." And let's not forget the wound to me trial.
Yeah.
When Judge Audrey Kokuvite said that won't to me no musim be. My memory example said me renfi. Ona ama Henry Okumzo nkoye galamse Debbie make us so inquire reclamation.
Yeah.
O man nisika Debbie. Usu nko dua kube so 10-15 years ni ati kube ni aton. Kube si get me reclamation. Eti oma a reason.
Yeah.
But deducing from the reason in the view of the judge, the trial judge, it doesn't make sense. Now let's go to Professor Azan say. And me also I think the international for blame year ago Dominic Ayen and I letter on the band. Sometimes I try letter and so on. Careful. TSM will say the attention of the Attorney General has been drawn to the decision of the Court of Appeal acquitting the former master. Now, okay, so your attention has been drawn. You say to two. A German so yes, it is Okuku se Kukamina because my attention has been drawn to her. But when you want to mean Casa because we are party to the case.
Yes.
It's I think so almost some phrasing of letter no a problematic.
Yeah, but when is some?
Yes, let's go to the substance of Sedina Tamakludia.
Okay.
First she knew about Tampa microfinance. Must look more mobesia 500,000.
Okay.
No this kind of coin no about Tampa for say interest na mo de to so no esolo prosecution case na me bon to fa che. Ana say na so muntimi dwam fam sika mra me. Ana kon prosecution de go free so no ko twen no bato na total. To mo de sika na ma no. Ana ba Tampa chairman say, "Madam, sika de ma head ye me serew. Me hia letter bi e kire say." Why den? Waji sika no. According to prosecution, omukobu no letter no obatampo for de wo ho iyoko de no ayra. But sa sika na madam said that time kon 5 occasions actually ta come obatampa say monfa interest ya den na sika waje. Odi in oguso toilet say wo hia interest. That is one.
Okay.
The second case in here sensitization bi ye twa abo 1.8 million 1.7 million dollars man no ekowie no 1.7 million cedis ekowie ase no na o ma spend 1.8 million cedis na 10 regions then 16 regions so we just about 3 regions Accra Brown half I think voter region nya kan o manye and so charge tell you sika no misappropriation unse ba we mu dia ye kan no TV
yes
on brofo ne sophisticated misappropriation and a second one is a cantamanto fire victims on the 579 million. What's happening to me? 800,000 Ghana cedis.
579,800.
800. They just talk market 2015. Siko fen come woman. Yes, we di sikano. Again, okoto cars because na ne buono. Esusun ebu onso amfa public procurement authority unsa wo koto aban ade bia na so de ko PPA no muhwem e kroje bibia no se onso wanya saade again let's just be otutu man hu mobile phone bi okoto se mobile phone ni 50 cedis a oton 70 cedis saade ni nyina account nom de ye na court no this is basically what the court said on all the matters. Let me just summarize for you. Court no ka say charge sheet ni e de man no e defective. Now let me explain the charge sheet. Unse the court was basically saying say a charge na the boss says okay account be conspiracy to steal. What ingredients are you basing on to say that there was a conspiracy to steal? You can't conspiracy say many Ampratwum Ampratwum microphone e de koduma ye benya bu sa Eugene okay me kura me hu say CCTV no mu dum ne be 10 nti ebo 10 na hyiamase woni emetumi you no conspiracy me no wako nakrana
yakoye kanana
say charge sheet no na sa bone asade na mtama kula dia wo de money laundering to no so wo de stealing ne to no so wo de causing financial loss to no so wo de willfully causing financial loss to no so akeka ne nyina bo mekoye 78 charges no e to masuma enye charges ni defective again no hold this say eba burden of proof so what can say them koto bibi only authorization from public procurement authority the onus lies on the prosecution and the one making the allegation to prove say no new authority no and shifting bad and then cause the name was say yes we new authority to one be authority and as a new authority so the burden of proof per the appeals court at all material times was on the prosecution to prove that she didn't have the authorization. Now yanko enema 7 na me boma na yanko ba bia so. The court found serious evidential proof about Tampadian. The original acknowledgement letter was not produced. The document tendered was a copy obtained from Obatampa. No corresponding master copy was produced. Evidence, even though the reference number on the letter suggested that Maslow should have retained a copy. Unso kwa bankra tema copy. Let it be our date ni be numbers bi no. Obatampa will let any bon call Maslow no. Let any be ni ho. Now, the Maslow official who testified has not seen an official Maslow copy against which the document could be compared. The chairman of Obatampa who claimed that he had exchanged WhatsApp messages with Sedina concerning the refund, those messages were not produced. Obatampa said, "Oh, minister can come Sedina bon komo, mame me dia bo ska no kan aso. Ka so fa WhatsApp message mom de o wantimi afa message na nya den." But let's not forget that at the appeals court, they will not sit over new evidence.
Okay.
They will not allow you to bring in new evidence.
That's
except
right.
in extremely exceptional case.
Right.
They were only assessing the facts as presented and ruled on at the lower court, which is the high court.
That's right.
It means a question by one and say senior. The court when said now find the because they couldn't prove receipts. Because now Ogusu demand this kind of from about tamper, which means say now on knees can in the view of the appeals court. Yeah, 500,000 anyway.
Anyway, I will batampa ho na say we
said now. So I think that even though she's been acquitted and discharged, and the only route is going to a Supreme
there are still
Court
questions to be answered.
There are still questions, and maybe some civil matters must be considered in this matter. That is maybe view.
Sure.
Because there's no establishment of the whereabouts of the 500,000. And the 500,000 you create 5 billion. And where you come back 10 years ago.
And easy.
Senior, but what
sure.
TFN2. Now, the issue about sensitization. Tell so much. Or say, the prosecution's case was that the program neither did not occur or occurred only on a very limited scale. The court held that the prosecution did not prove beyond reasonable doubt that Sadina stole the money. The prosecution did not call the relevant regional officers or beneficiaries who could give direct evidence about whether the program took place or not. Instead, the trial judge expected Sadina to prove that the funds had been properly used. The court held that this again wrongfully transferred the prosecution's burden to the accused. It's burden of proof now, no sign. Say, in case 10 regional chairman, form chairman, directors of master of Ampratwum, water for musica buy program. No, na benefit on number one man fresh microphone. Would blame the man said in that temacula. But you see, there's a phrase in here. Or say, the prosecution did not prove beyond reasonable doubt. In criminal trial, you must prove beyond reasonable doubt. That's a sensitization.
So money pasum.
Again, almost also cause a cantonment of market fire. No, so no. Almost say one prosecution witness admitted that enquiries had established that the funds had been distributed to the victims. Another witness had confirmed this to him, although the information was omitted from the report tendered in evidence. The court held that this admission struck out the foundation of the stealing charge. If the funds had been distributed to the intended victim, the allegation of dishonest appropriation could not be sustained. The conviction and sentencing related to the countermand funds were therefore some say Stekanen could do a dance. Oh, you should shame Microphone be a tweet.
Stekamo.
It could do a dance. This is Nipa no say a car.
Neither the assembly.
The same to be here. But the court also is not telling us. Yes, you can pay to some people.
Yes.
One prosecution
so who
can testify who were paid
that's
and
right.
how much they received. Now, make us say, unfortunately, at the appeals court, they are not at liberty
to do certain things. Yeah.
Now, I'll say, what happened to the money laundering conviction? Very important to say. They were set aside. The allegations stealing offenses were the underlying or predicate offense. Say, how do I explain? Supporting the money laundering members charges. In simple terms, the prosecution first had to prove that the money was the process of an unlawful entity. Before someone can launder money or steal money, it must be from a certain unlawful act.
Yeah.
If that unlawful act is not proven, the person cannot launder or steal the money.
Okay.
And this is basically the summary. Court to go here. That's basically the summary.
Not just say you cast money. You cast money laundering. Now say it to me. Chima you say baby and depending can free you know. And you can pass. Now when to me and chim say you can pass. Won't me cast any pan why money laundering.
Why money laundering? And again, those money laundering element is a BS can I can pass. But the one who transfers can in maybe a woody yen baby a would they fifa. And
so and
to me from our class and no money laundering. Good. Now, court on about cars or cars. A cars now because I said not to Kotoya more charging or home. And people are buying the can threaten a bit. Okay. They renegotiated and paid.
Okay.
And they all not sign contract. So that's also my issue. If you're saying that someone paid, the contract is a binding contract. They renegotiated and paid. But who signed the contract? Who signed it? So I think that yes, she's been acquitted and discharged. That is the law. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But I think that commonsensically, they've raised some questions. In my view, and I think that you and I have debated on that matter. But let me skip. Attorney General so call Supreme Court seek review of the matter. And now Appeal Court transfer for the stay of execution. It means you need free prison. Yeah. I'm fat. Almost on conclave 2 hours on by decision to me. But the reason why I can't say, I think that the blame on Godfrey Yabu Adame and Attorney General fair is that. The case was handed over to Dominic Ayene. When they were defended, in fact, when you read the entire 43 pages, only time. When you read the entire 43 pages, he mostly argued the same point Godfrey Dame argued.
Okay, because the same fact, no, the
same fact. And in fact, what's here the body language of the Attorney General when he did the government accountability? You don't know your CRC report.
Yes, yes.
You no, 2 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Look, I'll say, even the court in the US,
yes,
when they were presented with the evidence, believed in us and extradited said in that time. So he is unhappy with the appeals court. And he had, in fact, I think that posture shows that he's very, very unhappy.
Sure.
That's my view. You entitled to disagree.
Sure.
But the reason I think it's not fair to blame them is something. You see, when they wrote, after the appeal came to the attention and everything, that Attorney General had to write. And senior, my kind court document, I think that that's one of the most strongly worded statements that Attorney General be.
That's right.
Standing by the fact,
decision, sir.
The fact, the conviction of the former Attorney General.
Okay.
It's me can't go for that response here be or see o ma me no na wo you me as obo kind Attorney General am na my a bit uncomfortable kakra. Because I don't see where the Attorney General did the state wrong, and I'll read it for you.
Okay.
Because my country is in sheriff and then me view and what the facts say. Now that's right. Or say this is the Attorney General speaking. Already see preliminary objection. Whether it's the state attorney or whatever, they prosecute on behalf of the Attorney General. To get it is clear. Yeah. Even now the OSP, you catch this one, it's Attorney General of the Attorney General. Okay. Now say, my laws, the antecedents to this case point to the fact that Sedina, Meka appellant Sedina,
okay,
herein was tried and convicted in absentia. She was sentenced to 10 years, but remained a fugitive till because said number Jamea, Mumubiza Montiasian, where Attorney General Neka say remains a fugitive from justice, and as such has not served even a day of the sentence imposed on her by a court of competent jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Our criminal justice system has been marked by a persistent effort to balance the coercive power of the state with the fundamental rights of the individual. Or see, Ghana, yesterday no soon. In Article 99, clear say. Those say the state has unfettered access to power, resources, but when you be balance the human rights and the powers of the state. Here is idea. Mammy, I can once a court, and my brain say, try no.
Yeah.
Oh, Jane, 1 year cry, 10 years, and man on survey.
Yes.
Of course, however, a specific procedural dilemma arises when an accused person, having been duly notified of criminal proceedings, chooses to abscond.
That's right.
Attorney General say.
That's right.
Adiana mo be ye no. Muni hu say. Adiya ye be mana no. Ya bona man ye charge ye dia bonini.
Yes.
But we decided to be jane.
We jane. Proceedings crash shall say for about 3 years.
This is Attorney General speaking.
That's right.
Leading to a trial and subsequent conviction in absentia. The legitimate question that arises is whether such an individual, now a fugitive from justice, retains the right to utilize the appellate machinery to challenge their conviction while remaining outside the reach of the law. Attorney General point in say.
That's right.
Legitimately the court eya wo de say obi a ono adwane from system na e pese punishing no system e born na mane say oboni a wadi ni system na man ne kwan so ono so kan the side of so odwane ye no that's is it fair for that person to come back and use that system to vindicate a position. That's Attorney General speaking.
That's right.
It goes further to say that before we proceed to discuss the above raised issue, it is pertinent to put this appellant case in a perspective and state the fugitive appellant is not challenging the procedural steps which were taken in commencing the trial in absentia as not meeting the legal threshold for proceedings in absentia. What she is challenging is the outcome of the said trial. It goes further to say that, my lords, it is right that the right to appeal in Ghana is a creature of statute, underpinned by constitutional guarantees. It provides a mechanism for the correction of legal and factual errors made by lower courts. For a person convicted in absentia, understanding the statutory framework is the first step in determining whether an appeal can be mounted that is not just filed, but effectively pursued and heard by the appellate body. Into this page, the Attorney General basically goes to the Court Act of 1993, Act 459, say that, appeal there, because the lower court they try from so To young from so there should be a bigger court who will sit on the matter, and it ends at the Supreme Court, where the appeal process will evaluate the facts and make sure that there is no error. And see, said Natama Kroko appeal, the Mramokraman a crime, and more appeal no boss Ankruna. Or say under the Court Act, the right to appeal is generally granted to any person who is aggrieved by a decision. This broad language suggests that the status of the person, that is whether they are in custody or fugitive, does not inherently extinguish the existence of the say send panejane. See a channel. Always my appeal or build a point about it. The act provides that an appeal may be on a matter of law, a matter of fact, or a mix of law or fact. Say appeal there. Law, ebi a mrano, court niti ebi a fact no. When you ebi try a measure of the law and the fact. The appeal there wo. But okasembi or say. However, after establishing that some prechum court ne butiana, and mrama ne ho kwan.
So
at 459 to go to an appellate court. Or say, however, the Courts Act also grants the appellate court the power to regulate their own proceedings and to make orders that are necessary for the administration of justice. This includes the power to strike out appeals that are considered an abuse of the court process. This power granted the judiciary and the common law fugitive disentitlement doctrine put together means that once Act 459 grants a right to appeal, the court may refuse to exercise its jurisdiction if the appellant is in active defiance of the law. This creates a situation where the right exists in theory but may be procedurally bad in practice. Also, yes, Ghana Manama how can say appeal, but who court now better appeal no so. If there's a defiance of law,
that's right.
You can use that to throw out the appeal.
That's right.
Because there's a defiance of law, and the judiciary must be the custodians and protector of the law.
That's right.
This is Godfred at the Dominic Attorney General speaking. It goes further to say that it is important to share light on the fugitive disentitlement doctrine at this point. That's what fugitive disentitlement doctrine or say the fugitive disentitlement doctrine is an equitable doctrine which prevents an evasive party from obtaining standing in a court which authority it evaded. Sorry. Or say okuku se kwa frame no one pretum se BBSC.
Me se me ma
ana ofre office. Yuji mebo nkro me na mkobo wo charge. Am pretum mu nipa. Wona na ye kwa no ahye da dum microphone. On madwuma ntam ne fact nye ana okuku fr ampre yuji ni okani obra me ma wo ye hwan me ma ana wa ama ana attorney general ka se fugitive disentitlement doctrine ne say wa ama na okuku se kwa bu acha se wa ama de ama suspend o 1 year without pay e men sire fa bi o afi na wo be ka se okuku no yuji nkan Oboa. And Attorney General Kase, Sadia no man kwanya enye ye or say
because
it's a doctrine which prevents an evasive the process evasive party from obtaining standing in a court which authority it evaded.
Your friend Renimu ama ye bo ebubo no dey o say me afena me ba be defend me ho.
And Attorney General say yes sir
enye ye.
Now goes to say thus it limits a person's ability to appeal as long as he or she remains a fugitive. According to the doctrine, an appellate court may dismiss an appeal when the person seeking the relief is a fugitive. It is important to state that Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution, the laws of Ghana include the common law as well as the rules of law generally known as the doctrine of fact. Young Counsel Senator Kawama on his own appeal. She was arrested.
Yes.
And was citing authorities. Any other or cited authorities now no kind. But you see, to conclude for you why I believe the blame is not fair. The Hanokra the Yamakama and West Nan was for me. See or cited authorities we no say. It is straight that under our law, a convict who wishes to initiate an appeal must comply with specific procedural requirements, the most important of which is the filing of a notice of appeal. According to the rules, of course, a notice of appeal in a criminal case must typically be filed within 30 days of the date of the judgment or sentence. The act of filing a notice of appeal is a clerical or administrative task which notifies the court and the prosecution that the conviction is being challenged. At this stage, the physical presence of the appellant is not strictly required. A lawyer acting under instructions, even if the instructions were given before the client has gone, can technically sign and file the necessary paperwork. It must, however, be stated that the filing stated that filing the notice of the appeal is not synonymous with mounting the appeal. It is a submission that the latter involve the substantive hearing of the case, where the presence of an appellant becomes necessary, and as such, a fugitive status possesses a significant value to the process. Sorry, it goes further to say that, my lord, the jurisdiction of the appeals court to hear an appeal, such as the instant case, is subject to several conditions precedent, some of which are found in statute and others in judicial policy. One of the primary limitations is the requirement that the appellant must not be in contempt of the very court system they are seeking to use. Or say, one of the condition precedents is that the court you are coming under to vindicate your right, you must not be in contempt of that court. That
is Ampratwum
legal education. See now what I say?
That's right.
So that's Attorney General speaking. So how do you blame him? I don't see where you need to blame him. Now it goes further to say that one of the primary limitations is the requirement that the appellant must not be in contempt of the very court system they are seeking to use. It is our submission that the appellant who fled the jurisdiction during the trial and who has avoided serving the prison sentence imposed by a trial court could be viewed as being in the state of constructive contempt. And we urge this court to view her as such. She is in what? Constructive contempt. We further submit that the effrontery of the appellant to mount this appeal when she has conveniently decided not to surrender to the jurisdiction of the court is something that should not be countenanced by this honorable court, as the conduct of the appellant is an affront to the sanctity and integrity of the court.
No shit.
Also said in that time the new was the effrontery kind of piece saying. Say when kudro court awobuna nimtia say nyakukudro sa bad judicial system na wobuya nimtia no bepe reprieve. It goes further to say that it is trying that once a competent court of law issues an order, it is expected to be obeyed, except only when the order has been set aside. Now the concluding statement, for me, then I'll leave it to your judge.
Okay.
It is our submission that suddenly active defiance of being at large is a flagrant disregard of the judgment and orders of the court that sentence, and as such, this honorable court should not entertain this appeal, as the conduct of the appellant is an affront to the administration of justice. This is appeal court. It may mean who will be person blame Godfred Dami and answer Dominic Ayene. At the end of the day, as I've always said when I do this analysis, it is a court who will decide.
And I think the court also will take it away seriously, because we know Akwe to say where's now Okano.
In fact, we know who. Who's our panelist number? We know yet to form. It's a 43 page. I can forward it to you. If you read it in good conscience, I don't know how you blame either Godfrey Dam. In fact, in challenging the grounds of the appeal, the current Attorney General relied on all the facts of Godfrey Dam. He relied on the fact. Okay. In fact, for me, these preliminary objections that they raise make common sense. That there's a process. Cameron associate, yes. There's a process that called you that you have questions to answer. This is basically the fugitive disentitlement doctrine.
Yes.
You disrespected that process, and according to the Attorney General, he used fugitive, he used abscond, he used fled. Not even serving a day until you are arrested. How do you come back to that same process to vindicate your position when you? And in fact, the Attorney General said it here that she was duly notified of what? The charges. This is it. Or say, however, a specific procedural dilemma arises when an accused person, having been duly notified of criminal proceedings,
chooses to abscond, leading to a trial and subsequent conviction.
Exactly.
In absentia.
This is the Attorney General said, you were duly notified. So if indeed you knew these facts were not as it was being presented, why did you run? And there's the Attorney General speaking.
That's right.
So for me, I think that the greatest of respect, I abide by issues of the court. But I always say that
that's right.
Some way, somehow, they are supposed to be the ones to do what?
It is in their bosom.
It is in their bosom.
That's right.
So how did? But me, you just said, you know what I was surprised about? It's the 3-0 decision.
Anyway, unanimous.
I was very surprised.
So
but for me, I think that what Attorney General done and the posture. It seems as if he's very, very upset by it. Because for him to quote,
yes, and John.
US, and you see, what is important for people not to know is that once Sedina was extradited, the US statement was very instructive. Now, Jeff, I don't know, say, let me get it for you. Because you see, I tell you, say, one of the things my current lectures will tell me that you need to do a content analysis of things, and it helps. I'm trying to get you what the court said, the US court said in the extradition of Sedina Tamale. It was very, very important. So it tells you that it don't see Godfrey. The man for say, Godfrey, Dami anya jumaye. Godfrey, Dami anya jumaye. With the greatest of respect, the U.S. court, the same court I'm believing in, so U.S. is the cathedral of democracy. Yes. They said something there. I've sent it to Jeff will project it. But I make kind from photo say, justice has no borders. The U.S. has extradited Sedina Tamakulu to Ghana following a conviction on 70 plus corruption-related charges, including embezzlement more than $6 million, equivalent in Ghanaian taxpayers' funds. This is our strong U.S.-Ghana law enforcement partnership in action, demonstrating a shared commitment to accountability. And the first extradition from the U.S. to Ghana since 2009. In 17 years, a court in the U.S. saw evidence, and based on the weight of the evidence, decided that for the first time in 17 years, they will extradite this woman to Ghana.
Yes.
So based on all this, I say I'm surprised. This is why I'm surprised.
Okay.
But that is one. How many minutes more?
Okay. But NC 3-0.
NC
3-0. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the Attorney General press conference on the original, it was on the Constitutional Review Committee. President Mahama Baino on the 19th of January, yes, when in the 12 days, and what 8-member committee to do a constitutional review exercise. So they will go around the country, canvass the views of people, put it in the recommendations that the government will also have a say. At the end of the day, constitutional review is at the behest of the executive, no matter how you look at it. Yeah, Prof. Mills started the Fiajo committee, President Kufuor started with the Clabberry committee, any age constituent of CDD. Okay. Now, we share the full video, but I think that people will get a better perspective when they look at the entire document. It's a 68-page document. We take it time read it will help. So the committee, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, Dr. Reina, Akumpriga, Metidi non French, the former Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Professor Kwame Kakari Charlotte, the former EC chair, the Dr. AC Ansan Alaji, Ibrahim, Dr. Gordon, Jokotomi 8. Now, the key ones are about Matatinano. So we just go to through some of them. Now, I say, I don't know why even the Supreme Court is entertaining this matter on Article 66. It's two terms is 2 terms. Let nobody bring any Ghana.
Say consecutive.
Ghana, say 2 terms.
Sure.
Mahama we dewi oni ba bia ko.
We did 2 terms.
And one. Obi interpreting is anka oma. Ti yenye mfenso oni enya isa de. Or say the committee recommends amendment of Article 66(1) to extend the duration of a president's term from 4 to 5 years. The committee also recommends an amendment to Article 1131 and 2 to extend the term of Parliament because it has to go
in tandem.
Concurrent, right? No, in tandem. In tandem is not concurrent. You know, presidential term now 4 years, and they call 5 years. My view on this, I've struggled to give a view even on my channel. I think that I'm here to see a compelling reason. Okay. What you cannot do in 4 years, I doubt you can be able to do it in 5 years. That's my view. I'm here to see someone to
convince
me on the argument. Okay. I'm yet. Yeah. I don't know so convince me.
No. My grandmother even called me. Maybe Nana friend maybe say me say hey, our grandma was watching over 5 years and no.
And people are saying that it will be it won't start from President Mama. That's not how it happened. It won't start from President Mama. It will be anybody after. That's how it is. Laws do not take a retrospective effect. He was elected based on this position. So if you amend it will not take a retrospective effect. Yes. Now they also say that the minimum age, once Article 62B, now 40 years. And a committee, the committee recommends amending Article 62B to reduce the minimum age of eligibility for election as president from 40 to 35. The current minimum age of 40, government position here, exclude excludes qualified citizens from seeking the highest office on the basis of an arbitrary age threshold. Reducing the age to 30 years is consistent with the trend in modern democratic constitutions towards greater inclusivity. A citizen who is old enough to serve as a member of parliament should not be constitutionally barred from contesting for the president on account of age. The president, 40 constitution currently. Committee recommended 35. I buy as a 30. Because parliament, I think 18, right? Yeah. 18.
Yeah.
21.
Okay,
21. So we better make a parliament that question and say, yeah, why can't the person be president? That's the yardstick with it. So they brought it to 30. Then so you give me a chum. It's to me, but just for one. Now my head said, "Meet me at the
bad."
And now, I said, "3 years." I said,
"Bad,
be about them 50. I said, "Presidential ambition." But when in the year, see means
tall order.
Some say $100 million. So, with Mama Bear 50
million. Any problem?
You two to microphone. Again, Omoka said, also Kenya.
Yeah.
I like the Kenyan system. They have, I've forgotten the time, but they have a very defined timelines for presidential election petition.
Okay.
Now, the committee is saying that they should amend Article 63(2)(a) to provide that presidential election shall be held on such day in the first week of November. They say November, but the specific date, say maybe it was 7 December, that day, the EC will decide on that. Now, presidential election petition, Article 64. Once you the first one in 2013, to August 29. I call for most time, Mama and Timmy take any major decision. Those things have a bit. When it comes to the economy, there's some kind of perceptions. There's some kind of believability. So when this idea is shaky, almost say no. Say your election results now. You have 14 days. To challenge the results. Then the Supreme Court must sit on the matter in 30 days. I think it's fantastic. And see, everyone say they about November. Everyone saw the 27th of November. You keep here 7 now.
Yes.
Meaning, see, a election roughly around 10. See, the Nana do 2-3 days. Everyone's by 11 p.m. so we are worried. By easy on one end, you must say so.
Yes. Kenya then now kind of 7 days.
7 days.
Yes. 7
that's
days.
Fantastic. It's say you must say born the 10th frana or between 10th to 24th, say 2 weeks to file the petition.
Okay.
Now Supreme Court to send petition now. They have 30 days. So meaning that by the time they are swearing in, yeah, clear are the free.
Sure.
And now when you are swearing president that there's an issue about the legitimacy, any major decisions there. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. One of the things that outright I support.
Okay.
And I also feel say November also be boy because I had that transition, you know. It's an accusation. You can say in your way. You can say when you say, as a confronted your cool. We say a catch the way, we say and country way, we say and cry conform. And you see that position, I still hold that position. And media, and I'm crying a fault. I cry peduma.
Yeah.
Saka 1 hour crime will be through office no money, more but
that's right.
So the issue is not about, you see, Newton Taylor, to every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Yeah. Before you look at the reaction, look at the action.
That's right.
Who initiated the employment procedure? That is the problem.
Okay.
Because I'm going to say a punish woman, not in Kolana or no Nukunya Jumano. What I say? I choose it. So I say, Newton tell me I'm a science today. To every action that Okukuseku, or frame say, Massa, BBC, the BBA, but men from Marco San Quantum.
Simple cry. I feel maybe
no pedumano. As a debia, crabby or Muso, there's some crab bonnet and penny for bonnet.
That's right. That's
your
it.
Generation is raising.
That's it.
It's the old generation failure, yeah, feel.
That's it.
So that's it.
That's it.
That's just by the side. Now, conditions of service of the president. They say president will make your tax. They will make your tax. You told me to be. When you go,
what you say? La.
Nanze me call baby na mo airport. Now unim say. Sorry, that current regional constituency organizers. Most of them
I would love it. I would love it. Not say Yankee say no Montana because it looks like comment. You want to infuse it. But Montana. Na yen ninkomo.
Senior, obet ma correct. Unim say constituency. Who's that? But to do me in the back. I say I'm not the
okay, let me
do back. Unim say current constituency organizers. Ampratwum mom no me NADMO directors me bi tia mo kwet most na youth organizers akọ why
yes
na ba ko frame the youth ebre mean to me my true feed would ye one more than can 12 months and my and I'm free penny because of Eugene. Yes, we are dear my and I'm saying that's what dear my but I'm saying a party be away. I'm a cry what you say the ampo. So then master come on here. Now brother mama to do the person pray no di. I'm on you okay.
President Mahama almost 7% salary.
Government architect in a position by me view and your crime for pro MP. And once I'm to Kokobe, let me chum a you. My quid.
And let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. You see, sometimes we pretend to be fighting corruption. Let me tell you, President in you may be Ohio. Scania the good Ghana must go Muneba. Let's not pretend.
Wow.
Oh, but that's the truth.
Wow.
I'm telling you the reality. Let me tell you.
A general perspective, no share.
You're a hypocrite.
Sure.
Politicians.
Now, are you doubting it?
Yeah,
who MPs who bio car boot election time who bio car boot. No, we have seen so many things.
I'm not blaming Mahama. So keep.
And that Mahama, you blame no. You are blaming the system.
Please, I'm telling you this. Me say let's not pretend. The salary seminar.
No, but you see, senior friend, you see the point is even making it that look at MPs for example.
Oh, what they know and fuck off from it's a drop in
no, what I mean about that, they look at their salary and himself public.
Okay.
That's around 30,000. But Oman by interviews now, quite year weekend now. It's kind of bob. So it tells you that I'm a senior man so can. That's why I've always believed that me you say independent. Chairman Sani said that's one kind of correct.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ways to fight corruption is political party financing.
Wow.
The day we get that thing right, declare how you are getting this, like they do in America. You cannot bring, you cannot get it.
Yeah, time. Yeah, what
okay.
Man to be a sena, yeah, the 5,000 bread party. NDC, man to be almost the 20,000 bread party.
That's right.
Mumusa party ni million so many scanaway.
So no way.
Mumusa so many scanaway.
We are party in Neduma. Party.
Why are we pretending?
Party in the money making venture.
Political party finance. In fact, there's a provision for that. Senior Max or corner. Let me get that for you. There's a provision for that where now the presidential immunity. So no, sir. Now continue recommend says the president Mama Teswa and the president Kufa that we take a civil action against presidency. Say we the alien don't
I'm saying the Mumungu.
We be better president and the civil matter be better no matter. Again, I'm going to say presidential term limit to the Maka. I don't say president minister MPs no so. I'm the court 300.
Yeah, I'm a capono.
Now say come about 200.
Now 24 year.
There's still an opportunity to add about about 14
you know where the problem is. I don't blame the EC, the current reading of the law. You see, it's not gerrymandering. EC is supposed to create constitution based on certain requirements.
Yes.
If that requirement is met, a constitution like Bosomtre, it's not municipal, based on population. Yeah. So maybe it's not them that create the constitution.
Anyway,
it's how the current law embodies them. Because for me, for example, how do Ghana have 300 MPs? Now let's not forget that the 300 MPs means that packs of office
yes.
Obi kakra ikura ni yehu.
You know baby. Emrana and Kase easy. And creative constituencies need income.
Okay.
It is nowhere.
Okay.
What the law says, say, after census, you review the boundaries of the constituencies. You can review upwards or downwards.
Yeah.
When is it that a review?
And I make us a population dynamics. For example, for you to be a municipal, I think when you get 120,000 and above, you're a municipal.
That one I agree. But there can boundaries. No? Let's take so I'm a municipal assembly.
Yeah.
And what more to the two boundaries necessary and the chrono. It won't say population and what's swimming. What you do, say, Abia,
you switch some of them.
We are talking of
No, balance.
Oh, okay, Martina here. If they be a just no for the Kuma, maybe as a band near Kwamo, and maybe a man with a Kwamo, administratively, no more.
Okay.
Most of the sudden quite happens, even in Cameroon, which I echo as Adena. There are some countries political homo baby, administrative homo baby.
Yes.
I think that those because 300 MPs there.
Too much.
And I only 300 MPs here means that our conversation about bigger parliament and some
Ebesaba.
Now, send nipa 200 in Timmy Yamrama, 300 in Timmy.
Nemre Krumu.
Nipa Senate Parliament.
Emre Parliament.
Emre.
And also, idea a buy. And again, dual citizenship. You see, this thing, I have a very. Now, if you're a dual citizen, you can contest for any position. But, senior, me the fundamental question that if you really want to serve your country, why can't you relinquish a foreign citizenship to serve your country?
Okay.
That is one question.
Okay.
But the next question is also that you can't FDIs, you can't remittances,
foreign direct.
you do musika, you do investment. So why can't they contribute to decision making? That's the two arguments.
Yeah.
That if you indeed want to really serve your country, why can't you relinquish your citizenship?
No.
Exactly. And also FDI for a year also says, so you said for say, you sikaba, then you create businesses, you sika bishim. And then you sika bishim ya mubeje. You be say be pray to me be kan wase mu bi.
And they must
Monday must there be. But it's also no a very interesting one aba. Again, back one aba. A regulation of political party campaign.
Okay.
Committee now the main kind.
Okay.
The committee recommends a new proposition in the chapter 7 of the Constitution to establish an independent registry and regulator of political parties and campaigns. IRRPC. This committee would assume and expand the Electoral Commission's role in registering and regulating political parties, which with enhanced enforcement powers to monitor compliance and sanction violations. The committee further recommends that Parliament enact to amend legislation to control the cost of electioneering and political campaigns, including restrictions on campaign periods. You call election year 3 months a year campaign. Expenditure caps, disclosure requirements, and sanctions for the abuse of incumbency. What's the abuse of incumbency? For example, election, President Mama on Kubu, but the President Mama Banswa or Kobebia, not the flight to Kwa. Campaign. How do you draw the lines? Is it campaign or is it government work? As a seven
in a ruling government.
In a ruling government. People are accusing by me of that. But you cannot draw the dichotomy. Because in 2016, President Mama was certainly it will bless state resources.
Let's not forget.
Yes, but as they do maybe now you helicopter people will bring that. But see, even in America, Donald Trump, I'm told that in a certain period, say we use Airbus one and you pay for it.
Okay.
So I think that was what the committee was thinking.
And you're official.
But the government also says that they say that the government accepts in principle the establishment of an independent body to register and regulate political parties. The government considers, however, that a political party regulatory commission, it's a pay regulator. No, government said they be doing from independent registry and regulator of political parties and campaigns to Political Parties Regulatory Commission. Is a more appropriate designation than the nomenclature of the registrar and regulators. The government accepts the recommendation to deepen internal party democracy under Article 55 by expanding the right to elect party executives and candidates to all members in good standing. Now, most of the Supreme Court ruling now by Obianko Tubino. Now, the government through this is also agreeing with the Supreme Court without necessarily doing a different statement.
Yes.
But the issue a case that in good standing political party none of them how we decide. Moje taxes, moje dues, moje samadi. Eso be a to be. Ofori krom ye 100,000. Na ni package to be akoshe dem. Eyi my kwedu. O ma 55. Dey na me inten o wa last year. Be ma ko friend na bo so nya 10,000.
That's right.
Nipa 1,000. And I obetua because on so for come ne swami and I'm also winning candidate to
10,000.
He said it already.
Now we want they are moya no you know. They are moya no.
You see, I don't want
that. They are moya no. Na Fane opesa who play ostrich. It is the fact.
Yeah, ni mukura mo na makoy prime minister na.
Come on. Fane. Don't bring yourself.
Baba Jamadi.
motorbike na
baba jama de obi nya TV nya moto Ampratwum
you na untua bi but you Ampratwum yes Eugene
obi o be katro ba bia so college untua bi oboa
no when the better
me say brand no be say me body and there's evidence that's what we say mama if na ehwe no wa no ye ntese abrante kokoya no ye technique chain na
yes
yes we be say unim nientia sa na ye prevalent in Ashanti region and other eastern region sa e bia o court voter region say Sama so we need so am primaries. Ma to sire.
Yes.
ASF seat. And to no so 10,000 and crown won chire no. See now that so that is the problem.
Talk by offend. Yes money vote buy into and when one second term.
Na
House of Chiefs. Even House of Chiefs.
Na okay, we say as regards to the regulation of campaign financing, the government does not accept a constitutional amendment. It's necessary for this purpose. Campaign financing regulation is a rapidly evolving field that requires the flexibility of ordinary legislation. Expenditure caps, disclosure threshold, and enforcement mechanism must be capable of adjustment as political and economic conditions change. Parliament can enact the requisite legislation using its residual constitutional and lawmaking powers. The proposed PPRC bill provides the appropriate legislative vehicle for this. It's a banner of the Marana. Ebeba. But you see, conveniently, and if MPP was in power, they would do the same.
That's right.
You know why? Who's a conveniently, they agree and winning. Was say agree in principle, and you walk on it.
Yes.
But I will bet try and say, you better say, you better campaign say, because it evolved no bro from there.
Now, what kind of friends say that be? What kind of
now something could be. Oh, come here, no better kakra. And then you imagine kakra.
Comparing hours to
Ampratwum, the senior be call election. Okay, so we watch them. Oh, we are no common say into the crack. No, as I trust them more about the tougher. No, the crack. As Massa, what got try Russia? Yes, because of the DMP, but distracted. But the last one be my Chief Justice. I find this a bit confusing. The Justice of the Supreme Court retired at 70. Now, the CLC recommends amending Article 1452 to provide that the Chief Justice shall hold the office for a single non-renewable term of 10 years or until the retirement age, which, however, occurs first. The government support the introduction of a fixed non-renewable term for the Chief Justice for the reasons acknowledged by the CLC. Now, my kind of CLC recommendation, they are saying that it's not a written rule, but for you to become a Chief Justice, you must be a Justice of the Supreme Court. They are saying that so we have 40 years, crying your Chief Justice, only 10 years, automatically you retire.
Wow.
Me tear for let's catch you for so. And I will be busy sent me 50 years. But within 10 years, can I go back to serve on the bench? And was a best IGP Dampare. He was not due for retirement.
Yes.
But will you go back to be a COP? It's a gray area.
Yes.
So I think that maybe we need to iron that because maybe taking that is Felix's view.
All right.
What I say?
All
because we say 10 years. Meaning that you're just on the Supreme Court, who may be 50. It's your bond is a Chief Justice or some 10 years we are.
That's right.
Can that person go back to the bench? That is interesting. Now, based on how
they retire on their salary. Yeah.
In terms of the benefits, only to look. She has nothing to.
Oh, baby, I'm also feeling so bad. I'm
not going into private practice.
Now, we say Article 146 they implement it.
I'm sure. Eugene, I'm sure Omu introduce way because of the tokono issue. Because of any age now. Not nipa be brave, retirement.
Yeah.
Into your mouth, idea.
Yeah.
But senior, why can't you also get to the point? Say, I'm just sharing my own lawyer view. The arguments some people made was that Tokonu was there. I mean, 10 years late. But for Bonnie, 2008, Kwame 2005. To some, it makes sense because in the law, for example, there is first seniority. In fact, make Jamadan look at your call. Say, I don't know you case bar senior for you, Mujana bear for them. So 1 year the bar minimum one country means to mean says, I mean, a case in your body. Senior and a ballet to create bit in a job. So if that is the case, maybe conventionally we can make it similar because before you be named as someone to go and serve in the chairs, as on the bench of the Supreme Court, it means that you have some knowledge.
All right.
It's hard to be a senior, you know? Because you see, let me give you a case. 146, you know, to become problematic.
Well, practice the years
no,
of
maybe
practice.
seniority at the bench. Seniority at the bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, Justice Puaman Committee net now. Get this scenario. Based on Article 1 for any pay. Except President Bonipa 5, 2 sitting justices of the Supreme Court, and 2 other people, they don't need to be MPs.
All right.
They were a lawyer
All right.
also.
All
I think there are 5 people. And about Puaman Day. After Bafuboni, Puaman is the most senior, 2015. So imagine the case Justice Bafuboni, who is due for retirement in December, goes on retirement, and Puaman is named Chief Justice. What will be the narrative? Now we need to say Bedru also.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
So for me, for example, one of the amendments I should see in 146 say, current justice of the Supreme Court must not be part of the process when a petition is brought against a serving Chief Justice or a justice of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Because the way the thing is, it may fall on you. And if you are part of the committee, to be deemed as if what you did on the committee to serve your personal interest.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things.
No more interest.
Anyway.
You see, for example, 146.
Human TNA.
The last one I asked Justice Efiase Wasare, what is infirmity? You must know what is misconduct. What is because incompetence, misconduct, infirmity. So all those are great. Now to court no recommend they said just so the Supreme Court 15. After the conversation started, the President Kufuor said they are overwhelmed with cases here and there. But when you're 150 years and I rap on, I listened to almost all of them on interviews here and there. It seems as if just so the Supreme Court more colleagues.
Sure.
But we feel say as a lower court name there won't somebody do can you say do a
Sure. So we didn't
and in fact, in this report, there's a 2 recommendations that they should separate the Supreme Court from interpretation, that jurisdictional battle, and also seeking sitting on actual matters.
Okay.
That one also was rejected by the government.
Okay.
But about 15 so they call 19. 18 justices, 1 Chief Justice. So 19 justices of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So that's the summary.
Great. Eugene Yedasipi riding Shrawan 04.5 and our Suguswa would say
Utie Kukurantumi, our number 1 account radio station in Shrawan 04.5. Kukurantumi, I am myself.
Vote John Mahama and join me on this journey. Let us restore hope and ensure that every Ghanaian, including you and your families, live dignified life. Let's build the Ghana we want together.
The entire Yebedin Kunimno, Ejuma Yaye as MPP, Yaye Ejuma Bebri, Enim Faswan, Nebama Edin Kunim, Oman Penny Mahama, Samo Kaino Baye, Obekantre, say, Namnina Asa.
Kukurantumi, Yabra Bomusam.
Roma Shepa, Niaman Koye, if you say, Ne, Adia no Motoni Tracy, Ne, 80, Abapim home, yes, into Columbia, Shepa, Pantia Bestre, Serenado, or Bibia, Onion
Nuvela, Wodani, Le Ezefeme.
Kukurantumi, your money, your own sem.
Ghanaians know this, and Akufo-Addo also knows this. With a struggling economy, unprecedented hardships, and a troubled ECOWAS sub-region with rising incidents of terrorism.
Kukurantumi, Untumintake.
Okay, Kukurantumi Dindi Nana Kwabna Ampratwum. Anopay so Emmanuel Reagan Finn, Ashanti Regional NSS Director, Osanso NDC Regional Organizer Hopeful, or Hase Sanso Suna Maxwell Ofosubuachi, former Swami MC and member of the NPP, also so Elwaze. Max, Ebio Mimo Akwaba.
Pressure.
Net say.
Major also. I'm a way up.
Adam, top light to Anna.
Oh, I am because at least o level ne baby I want. I think it's effort, and this is not new. New because I mean there are other bigger platforms in Kumasi. I mean who say na o control ni and a hands-on and idea about bros. What I say, this is one of the biggest platforms I've been and if you have a big personality, no money, a show na it's worth it. It's worth it. You remember about my catch was a had here. Young Trim I won't go you.
Reagan, it is a
about the other room.
Good.
Campaign
go say.
Campaign go so.
Giddy.
Bibi akoso.
Maxwell don't go beam to uncle.
On support me.
On our train say
on pesca no nisika na. Esgra. What when you have esgra na say.
Queens
Let's go to an unfair support.
How much coins?
Memfumu.
Sir.
I could tell OBJ 35,000. Now 7,000. You cry 5,000. Yes, you hear 5,000 now 7,000 on the amount of Gracia. I must have
Okay, Max, yentin na yenhwe because of Eugene the Orient yensha say from said na Tamaklo extradition. Ebi say said the analysis no maybe num chese as a buying in court na court na Accra na but utie Attorney General so said o si read ne report na ase onokra nya ne de just as Mambaka say
Attorney General shows are any day. I deal with you now, we didn't baby ever quite see.
Oh, sir.
Oh, now let's be frank with the issues. Ampratwum, Betty Krum Hano. I buy we bar power for frona. And no started say, on owning crop for Mujina as in Dibia. I buy our say what they be a friend oral. Operation Recover All Loot. No, Senko Moyan say. Operation Recover All Loot be from NPP appointees,
okay,
which excludes NDC. About what I say, because they be a loot na no more recover. They are from NPP appointees, NDC appointees or my weabino, and I say perceive say or my weabino, or more the end cajon. Nanke ati ho asesa. But your ura a quabnado for a then Attorney General, I will say. And I know when you and him said they are semi honey. Okutwa asem ni ye den. Sa no only prosecute no de buy no. Na esom fa so ne saying. Ada na wo ma asem ne nkonko ende. If I show me one of them yeah. Dr. Stephen Opuni. Ni issue no say also be recover all loot. And you mean well for Ghana. Sikabi chen sikabi. Why NDC ni nti yenya no meboa. Me pacho Ora Collins Dauda sagleme issue no. Adan no so yeja no. If indeed a buying per se of fighting corruption, sabi we your bad time ye hu se pepe ye wo wafa. E kwan ya wo fa so tea wo ba no. Se me hu se de wo tea wo ba na se wo tea me ba enha me because me nim se wa wo de kura no. Wo tea ne se be ya wo mfiri kwan no. Na wo kan wo de hye wo yam. Na me wo bebo me de se wo bo na kuna. Masa so obi ani bebre o. Me pacho Dr. Ernest Thompson so de na kosi sen. Me pacho won se de tie no. Eti ye hwensam no from sa angle we say. Ono ani nkrofo se bi wo bae wo de wo mo bone a che wo mo se mo wi asika no kura ntidi mo papa abadwo ma ma ba. Meja mo nkofi mo bi anya ne tiri nkodidim. Eti sa sika no ahye ya boka agu. What you say, Sikano? So I'm not surprised. Said now is Tamaklu. Or no Sikano, Ashe Yabokagu 90 million Ghana cedis. Ashe
Skana he.
Nada yenimu anti Rena. John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, me pacho mokai muntie 3. Emrantia yanyambna some say. As will be a year wa ya jeje. Sabi ye ja o mo beto ne mo na o ma kan sem we nyina o radio so threaten almost every individual in this country. Court to o ma ko shame some few months. O mu ko shame any 1 week. The President Mahama on ne vice o mu nyina o ma account NDC mpanimfo nyina ya apam ne akwa akoyi no. What that means is when it's about an NDC member, emra ne nya adwuma. Say ye NDC ni a emra bia anya adwuma. Ampratwum would the American.
Papa.
No ehia, who won fast war, essay Ghana for ya Kenyana. It can so that time, ya mammy, Professor Jena no Poku Ajeman, Sebi or your bad time or Abadaye, 18 or Kwasabi. But one thing I always tell people, they say there is a thin line between Abadaye and Abashaboni. What I say, Abadaye and Abashaboni. There's a thin line in them. What I say be our door ban into now ocean it true. The fast my brother. It would me person my mom picture how our NDC, I tell them about issue in this. How our NDC a treating them crop for who are when it comes to a yamran. Yeah. no one a political opponents. We said you were him hamsa war born. If I told Hanan, Sikasa and Abedi Hanan. In fact, I no grandpa allegation. But what I say, and so now you are hearing the Christ. Sika biche sika bi ana some penny for amabobo din nyina no sika na biche sika bi ana me ne wo kasa wuntumi twirim because yes wo ye galamsey ana ya man concession wo de aman krofo bi say o munye reclamation yes nye reclamation yes o munye galamsey yes o munye galamsey 20 years with them. President Mahama beka kire say wo ya we say NDC party or mpanimfo ni bi and the political appointees ni bi ye galamsey but Ampratwum bepem na mi busa what is President Mahama apamo any of his appointees because of galamsey da but the political opponent there yemfa abamra ne yemoninku no eno ne ba bia ya ba begina ti me pese metwa sanfoni ni we sei ne yehunu NDC aban no baby omudi ye free in terms of fighting corruption, in terms of say omo pampa omo de akwapa no kwafo wadi kakra hu no kure sika no kure ye sure say nyon nko ani di ye nyina ye di bi nti ye nya om no mko mbe. That is the picture they are creating. Na enya sa me pa cho yemransem ne so ansakra no me hu ne say this you know a miscarriage of justice. No credit be a man seven course no. And I'm hugely disappointed in the judges. How mama this ruling. So disappointed. So unanimous FC na President Mahama and a pound for can and Rebi. Creating the impression say NPP control judges no. Me assure say the omo ye nintino. Sometimes ya na lumba so na kan wunya ya be into nim say sa na mete. Enti esu anu omu mu na anu na no anu sande aba omu di control judges na e kire omu what they have to do. And this is a testament to Sanyoma na omo kan ye no. Never what ya say na same way dey aso. Mama na di esika 90 million Ghana cedis. Court to say you are acquitted and discharged. Kofi esika na ba bia da bia akoko to aso nedi. Ko na kwato aso nedi. Ni anya NDC communicators and crofo a omo ka so omo be fight corruption no. They walk okobra wuo no afedi omo so mpafenam. Aren't we worried as a people?
God say quite do the born inconsistencies so. Meba so see court na I cause act 1993. Menya lawyer ni but it's clearly spelled out. Meba cho what I say section 31(2). It's clearly spelled out. They are talking about defects. What does this act talk about say about defect? Menya lawyer ni nti ade ne atwe ne brofo. It is a me kan na mete ase a judges ne person che so omo ante ase ana. Ba me ba so. They macho appeal na said na tamakro kwa ye no kra to me there was no appeal. There was no appeal. As said by the Attorney General.
Yes, there was no appeal because otina wo man mu ye journalist waso do akiri pa. Mo platform yi so pa. Me patcho every ben if July 2024 and a modest case said na appeal e wo Ghana. Wanted that. Wanted that. Me patcho Nevada court wo US. Ghana that time NPP wo power. On my Ghana de extradition case na ekwadan wo mo a oso said na tamaklo issue no mu no. Me patcho wo te da. Said na a raise issue of appeal.
No.
Because enka to say the SCC Attorney General eso kwa stay of execution enka ade said the natamaklo lawyers be ye ne say ko mo kwa a stay of execution no ma go on to say omo kwa appeal me ba cho what you say so omo pe stay of execution grandpa ye nim say they had just 3 months to appeal so 3 months no so no atwam every being almost file appeal no and why did the appeal remain latent and now said dormant bepim 2026 from 2024 appeal no be anti honka the person a warrior appeal no so no one take step bia ko pim say na ban eba power ansa na yet sa appeal bi wo na indeed ya convicting nipa ne 10 years what also wa magana na indeed so wase wa ye appeal mpa ekanya bro wa abrochire na na ama no ne onya me kan Ghana han eno wo se nka ne lawyer fo ani bre so ombe pushi appeal no se be yi a meboa
yeah
enko mo twa ama na bansa no ma be ya appeal because oba na yese chinchire de obetume ka onia no eno mbe fight appeal no se eyeye mo mo de na se wanya utire didim but appeal no remain silent throughout for over almost 2 years. Nobody activated it. Ted na the lawyers are activated that. Kwa pim say NDC aba power. Even state attorneys, according to Godfrey Yebo Adame, got to know of it April this year, April 2026. And the state attorneys who say, hey, said Nata Macro. Almost all appeal be. This is a manufactured one because appeal no just 3 months after the case.
Yeah.
And as our time now elapsed, it was here for quite a be a faso. Say process no or appeal and it reason. And we will be asking. Ebio so person who's a semono a more rema. If I just said na eba Ghana no. Even see I didn't be concerned when we a problem. A buying penny for ways to say to the Franklin Kujo and a betrayal on the Facebook was one year buying penny in the Pebia Casa. Or said now is on a house arrest. Hey, 4 less good, 2 less bad. Some animals are more equal than others. Some Ghanaians are more equal than others. Ghana for ni bi wo hono ma wose ye do am kotun sa wama say yetimi ma wo house arrest emra ban he said John Mahama ene ne NDC aban ko a ene timisi etimi pese ye hwe sanfo ni we nyina asem wo we sa dance ni ho a ye twa bi ye den ade ya dance ni pa dwane from Ghana ebra ye gusu di na asem it is the appeals court saying say wonya aware of some fact we nyina na. Are they saying said Natamaklu one see the crown fan the swana? Is that what they are saying? Is that what they are telling us? Again, said the American almost says charge sheet, not a defect. A charge sheet in the mebo.
Yes. No
problem. What does Omo Act, a Course Act 1993, a Act 459, Section 31. What does it say about a charge sheet a defect? In fact, based on Omo you there was an appeals court to say the appeal no cry to Chine. That is what it says.
I see.
Wasn't Kwamo to Chine? What you say? Or say Section 2 of Section 31, subsection 2. Or say the court shall dismiss the appeal if it considers that no substantial miscarriage of justice has actually occurred. No substantial miscarriage of justice has actually occurred, or that the point raised in the appeal consists of a technicality. To say, "Uko raise point na a technicality, na no substantial miscarriage has occurred." Court no also okay. Or procedural error, or a defect in the charge, a defect in the charge sheet. No substantial issue has been raised except some basic in your way. It is not me saying
if there's a defect in the charge sheet, then you can throw away the case.
Exactly.
So which means that defect in the
or indictment, but there is evidence to support the offense alleged in the statement of offense in the charge of or indictment or any other offense of which the accused could have been convicted upon the charge or blah 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 blah. But the American question is, what does Omo Court Act 1993 Act 459 eka? And are we not surprised? Now me mom de anya me wanwo. Me ebra me hu say Chief Justice to kono. NDC promises omo ba omo be yi na free ho. Na say be omu be yin afiri no ma be yeden because omu adwene mu omu so woni NPP na hwebum mebo a omu hu ni so omu ntimi control ne ngire no do omu betimi onye eti yemfa frivolous reasons bia flimsy reasons bia ne yemfa nyini mfiri honom ne yemfa yen aye de mra onu de betimi ne na kohwebo yenya yie kura public lo betimi abe hage ye ne ade me pa cho what you say they are comfortable with it issue we enya wo na abe panel obe panel no somebody the chief justice and the Bema directive as to who and who should sit on the case but what you say eti sabi one good turn deserves another eti nanu ya do abedi chief justice President Mahama Doba ubetimi ahwa am yede na kotum usuru kura ubetimi ahwa am yede na kotum usuru kura. That is the more reason why I feel say this decision from the appeals court so disappointing. It's a miscarriage of justice. I believe that justices, wherever they are, with this judgment, I'm sure they will not be proud of themselves. Because Obia Ria or mining 90 million. Hey, are you emboldening politicians this way? A Chinabi say abayin bi ba no ono so say ya chine nipa ono so the nolly prosecute aba de eni nwie no ya clear ho nyina no man ne yakwa na ye ba e chine bi abayin bi ba no was say ni nipa bi edam yes won kodam 50 years because wakwa our man ni sika 100 billion na yes ya China we will reference said natamakro issue na aka say na ndis na say no amujai said natamakro na aka say dey say ye dey nya bi ho e basa na politicians ye ko ya na say ye bae o man ye boa na say ye pay ne fombo and you see say attorney general dey no person who say we hypocrite na no kure bi ani ma hwe communicators so person who say attorney general we hypocrites new hypocrite I was that posture now they are manna me see ti communicators they are all defending Sedina's the court of appeals decision and the attorney general you think they say he's the only pious person in NDC. This is a grand scheme. It was all planned. Say adia ye ba be yeni na ba just okay Martin people asem obeka no was it Sedina is making a big mistake. What banyaba ebra was our banie. It is also kakra they can pardon you. This is another form of pardon. But you use court, President Mahama could have said we pardon, no. But when you say political implications, it is use court, indirectly. You pardon, no. It's as simple as that. What I say,
right?
Posterity will not be kind.
Okay.
To President Mahama, any this judgment.
All right.
Because you wouldn't say. Omo egu omo hu animu ase onu a wo so wo be fight corruption no se bi wa me ehunu se bi yenya ne mugide a enye.
All right, Max, me that say fin
Ampratwum adase na ma fa akonya wis na mechia otiefu ene menua Maxwell wabobo mu bia na mechia NDC for ATM anopai
I also for organizer
Finny Mando Reagan. I'm still in the contest, even though MBA forms yet.
My meme support you,
MBA, Ishama Kochan.
Minim so ko chairman.
So another swam for us, you know. I'm come and say, no one go fast, man. And now, my faconia way so. I'm a branch executive in a Trenka. Fortunately for last year, branch executive say elections area. And I bet one say media baby auntie did to say the animal they see ye my bonnet secondary train dia bonnet emu insem baby see ya they see on the quiet note and the elections were competitive baby and can no oko baby to say formula oko baby to say manso de bia oko baby to say manso kwanta oko baby most of the constituencies na church routine this time when there were elections properly conducted, vetting, and qualified, say, contested. Branch elections area. Imagine I couldn't waste no more branch executives asan gye penny sɛ ɔmo bɛboa ama NDC enya IF well formidable na 2028 no nkunimdi etumi ayɛ dia na mabɔ National Executive Committee abaso ɛwɔ edwumaso nso ɔmo yɛ in the reorganization process ɛmfa dede bia ɛmba abɔnten nene Ampratwum
friend
aban yi bɔ edwuma paa
okay
but ayɛ sɛ say bobo aban na baso no aba fam ɛwɔ fam yi ye the mandate Ghana for the maye no ɛno ne yenim say ye and we have an accountability to give in 2028 in the same media ɛbɛbɔ aban ya baso ana say ɛmmɔ aban ya baso no ye adwuma the good people of Ghana for ehu no mopa aban ye enne oba kuma se mountain so a baby a obefe bia machines kwan so a ɛyɛ adwuma ahwen kwanta Santase road ubeko machines esi so contractors ɛyɛ adwuma gidigidi ukɔ mopa adeko Sunyani road enne machines esi so gidigidi uba beko roundabout adeko Santase roundabout enne contractors ejina so gidigidi uba sewia uba kai sewia ye sewia hospital edu a certain level na yenim say governance is continuous nti yenuanom ebetumi abeto aso yenuanom ba ye no omomfi sewia hospital de ehu ne say after say ya to abewie yehu say MPP oluso no last minute na president Akufo-Addo akose okobie sewia hospital at the time okobie sewia hospital na light crane ho ekwenye lead to sewia hospital na yenye enne abampapa John Dramani Mahama obo edwuma enne machines esi so a ye sewia hospital ye sewia akwan ye wia ye betwa ye bebie hospital na no ama ayaresafo akwaje ayaresa omu bie hospital na no na best ayalofo kra beda so na ebi ni ho na ebi ni ho John Dramani Mahama say ono on be ye so oh Max John Dramani Mahama say obehwe say Sewia hospital is in operational enye operational te say the ya commission hospital na afi de yentumi access healthcare ewosa ayersabi na mabo Dr. Franka Makoyen one of the regional ministers ebo adwuma ewa Santememu enne aban at the contract ama contractors or your regional minister he has a supervisory role to play and then Dr. Franka Makoyen internal office on the nam contractors so say contractor ye dey am no mo be no ma ye ni contractor ono an person so omo ba omo ye omo dede sa omo kan about 4-5 interchanges abro omo ba be mu omo ba akokwa ye hu de e wo so ame a omo de eyi ya omo free so no na percentage wise obeka no kra na ndru 10%.
Over 50%
percentage wise 15% 50% in what factors na constitute the 50%? No, I've not invited you to this.
No,
I've not invited you.
I'm the former MC.
I've not invited you to this.
No.
I've not invited you. Me invite you to this.
This cannot pass.
I've not invited you to this. But me time na watch.
This cannot
pass. Onyane time no I know better.
Me ma anya propaganda.
Ampratwum. Mesre onyane time.
On the chat time. Ada usu se me expose you ana.
Mesre troto ho. Unya wo time no I know.
Usu se me expose you ana.
Ube expose me.
Eti kwa nutum na menke.
Okay.
One
Okay, Max Manenkasa we are
time.
Right.
Na me mfro. Enti Dr. Franka Makoyen brano bia on na check say dwumedie papa egos. Uka KNUSC Medical Center. And there a buy a yisika and there you say be complete contractors. There was projects be brave. Air course was ukwasa wase. Every corner bia abra ye fra abemu 2016 ye jato ho and ye jato ho ya no ma meto aso no and there dwumedie machines ewo kwan so. Machines ewo contractors were so omudi dwuma nti aban no ebo adwuma aban no yɛ adwuma sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a Ghanafoɔ bɛnya abatoɔ so mfa so ɛna bi o mɛkɔ me national service ɛnɛ national service aso ɛyɛ mɛba so ɛnɛ national service aso ɛyɛ
20 minutes
national service aso ɛyɛ ɛkɔ n'anim ɛwɔ kwampa so de nti ɛkɔ n'anim kwampa so ɛna me no wo kɛse by now na yɛ so me wɔ edwira yɛne yɛ partners yɛ farm project na yɛ no ɔwɔ sɛ yɛ na ɔmokɔ so na ɔmokɔ super ɔmokɔ monitor na ɔmuhu dwumadi a ɛkɔ so na ɔmo atwa mfoni sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ nyɛ rhetoric te sɛ deɛ ebi ɛde planting for food and jobs ba yɛ a afi deɛ na yɛhu ne ti hu ne nan no ɛnɛ bibi ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ national last week na national service issues ebi wɔ ha
yes
Ampratwum mesrɛ mo yɛmu bi mo yɛyɛ namfo yɛafa namfo anasa nti sɛ issue bi ɛkɔ so na munim yɛmu bi a mesrɛ sɛ mo bɛfrɛ na magye nkyerɛmu dan sɛ yɛbɛyɛ no te sɛ court of public opinion na yɛyɛ ho dede saa na yɛhu ne korɛ no ankasa national service issue sɛ ɛkɔ so national service has never signed any agreement with any institution say yɛbɛgyegye national service person sika that must be established.
NASPA.
NASPA.
You can say that's what we said.
NASPA is also an autonomous body. NASPA is an autonomous body per their constitution. NASPA is an autonomous. When they take the decision, so more executives, apart from electing, they have a council. Regulated activities of regulated activities of NASPA. And the national service as management, has nothing to do with their buy-in.
Who are the signatories to the account?
Their buy-in.
Aren't you answering it? Who are the signatories to the account?
Maybe I won't read the NASPA constitution. Maybe I won't read the NASPA constitution. Maybe I won't read the Maybe I won't read the NASPA constitution. Into cocaine, but who the signatories to NASPA?
Listen, at TF40,
what say? Ebi cocaine, someone will be sir. Enti my main flow. Enti Ampratwum. NASPA issue no, and has nothing to do with national service. Acquired to say there because of a dimboni ayenuanom ejato abramu wa abemu enteno ama issue.
The signatories to the account, the president of NASPA, the financial secretary of NASPA, and the national service director, or to explain further, the executive coordinating secretary. More hand in it. But who is the
decision? The entire your signatories to NASPA accounts and I say national service and they give birth to NASPA. And the national service they give birth to NASPA. When it comes to music assem approval of Bibiana,
Munim Sikasem
music assem Bibia or Muyabia. And the sir Bamukosia, not NASPA executives, Ecosia and the council initial. No, must say when they are at the boy members. Let's say who's a legitimate. Why not so?
So it means you endorsed it.
So the legitimate aspect and say almost say unemployment kosoro. And the unemployment kosoro there. NASPA Emma members in Tetia send be owie suku skill training send be owie suku oh Max ana mo fa no nya sa training abra ni sika fia no na
so is it fair?
So this is not the decision by national service.
No omo ye na mo nim hu
and omo say omo person omo yes skill training omo ne adwumakuo bi asia omo yes skill training ama omo nkofo na skill training no every service personnel bia assist so to 150 pesos every personnel bia sika also to no. So it has been agreed at the council level. It's been agreed by the NASPA executives. Yansuye boase unemployment ebeba from. Enti issue no very legitimate. me say also making mockery.
And they say Banasa so why are you worried?
The national service has nothing to do with
you have something to do with it.
The deduction it could buy. No, Yanko.
We go we are the get to me when I get to me. You better
said no. Your mama said no. Yanko your mama said no.
Okay, Yanko.
So your mama tamakro. The issue no so. Ampratwum. Mene wo hu yi.
Ampratwum send the time also.
Ampratwum mene yeti he. Mesre say e ba na mra enye emotions.
Okay.
Na e de mra.
No.
Emra enye perceptions na e de mra. Na enye de me feel say ana medwen say emra tie ana medwen say na esese ye na esese ye. Say na ye ma me to kunu kan o say the law
is the law.
The law is the law. Inti esese ye famra kwan so na e bia bibia. In any case, said the name our legal right is obeko for appeal and also legal right.
Oh, legal right.
He has a legal right. Are you the one to determine who?
That was the provision. Say 3 months.
A constitution where the boy did more Ghana. This is the constitution. Where in this constitution and the Becca said, your time limited there. Where in the constitution in the unkind tray baby the Becca tray say only right.
I response now or cite say she had a certain limit of time to appeal after the judgment.
No, yababa so.
Okay.
Entino emo bia me Abraham take judgment no. No me free one of your sister stations. So journalists and enkofo emeki say as if John Mahama NDC the question assembly say Ghana your separation of powers.
Sir.
The 3 arms of government. The 3 arms of government obiya ne independent. Obiya de no. The judiciary at the no. The legislature at the no. The executive at the no. Even in parliament.
Judiciary de no one come.
Even in parliament. NDC you want majority more than 2/3 of members of parliament. I bet me John Omanpeni John Dramani Mahama and to me say parliament say na munye parliament and so the no one I say so ye na djuma enti ebeye den and obi out of emotions out of the speculations the perception obaka say Omanpeni ese said the name Jumedina meaning so omo kasa dia na just say omo breso no more influence the judiciary. If that is the case, if the omo kano and there, not just omo breso no more influence omo na etre omo na etre judiciary omo na etre the judiciary na enye itanya no one class omo kan we. But I can tell them say NDC led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will not interfere in any of the executive arm of the body just because executive the judiciary arm of government. Now the 3-member panel almost say yen kan basis in tia omugina so a almost say oma akwinte ana oma discharge yema tabako. That is the basis we should be looking at. Basis in us yefa na fan bako na be say is it legitimate, is it legal? I don't know what say ye but say wa be free wupem na out of your whims and caprices. Now, waka say there be which is say na Kenya, which is say na Kenya no. It's not law. It's not law. Judges say basis are the convicted said nominal. Basis the convicted said nam or multiple legal said our multiple legal and evidential shortcomings. just say atentene anya den anya adwuma.
They are talking about technicalities.
Ose atentene anya adwuma. Omo charge said on causing financial loss to the state. What charge you be in the criminal proceedings? So what charge you be? The burden lies on the prosecution to prove an evidence.
But there are times the burden shifts. There are times the burden will shift.
Mia yabom in tansa to say mass were two way. To say mass were two way. Na ma born in tansa. Na me expect to say mass were and kesa ebe leading evidence at the aba. Me the prosecution has the burden to prove. Even before America be the prosecution, should investigate and know said the American import a yanokra na say yanokra. The American a yanokra na say yanokra. Rather no yes see abonten na the enemy na yatoto boba park so. Yes, Attorney General so obeko for review over Supreme Court. That is within his mandate.
Which you disagree.
That is within his mandate.
Which you disagree.
That is within his, whether I disagree or not, it is within his mandate to go. Okay. Whether I disagree or not, a legal right, the attorney,
he has the powers to do so.
He has the powers to do so. So, before you buy Mtiaka Bibino, the messenger said, Yenyabotre, now Attorney General, proceeded to the review of person oye na yan the Supreme Court and so the be the beba dan say you be fan samano srene abasa na ya de court of public opinion no obia kanadwe obia am making an informed decision no I am running a adwuma rule of law must work and rule of law na nje say the ufi say na we emotions no say ya de kaso o mai mu the mestre Maxwell and then call for say so no interfere in the judiciary. The NDC led by John Dramani Mahama. The NDC led by John Dramani Mahama. Not Attorney General, not prosecutor on those cases no can. Is it not within his legal mandate?
Okay, it's within.
It is not within his legal mandate.
It is.
And they are the two to me as a me so wound to me. The lawyers is on the court for appeal. That is his constitutional right. That is his constitutional right. Omoko appeal. No court of appeal say, "Ntansa ya de ball chama to me no." Enye no. Who hold your budget court's decision at the atom. And the moment preempt say because any no. How do you compare chama to me's case and Ferdinand's case? How do you compare Chamaun to Miss case to Ferdinand's case? It is two different things altogether. It is two different things altogether.
Okay.
And we should not predict, we should not preempt what the court has not decided.
All right. Fain made ACP, but my main come for Amantin and Kase Community Bank Limited and Farm Mouse, Amantin and Kase Community Bank, and they almost sum some papa, save and secure your money account or Badachi account, Christmas account, Salah account, fixed deposit, salary account, current account, savings account, Susu account or loans are or say a fast and flexible. And see where that form papa, funeral loans, microfinance loans, agri loans, salary loans, business loans, social loans, transport loans now, and I move money anywhere. And Western Union, Unity Link Transfer, Apex, more branches be break. KO more branch where a dra amanting a tebu yeji, Kwame Danso and a KJG from 0501 290 952. And I say Omo branch be a ben will be a Amanting and Kase Community Limited. Also your genuine partner serving your interests. Onga promo no guswa ekoso makacho so be here 20 onga powder promo sachet and that's a 20 onga shrimp tablet promo wrappers no waka bomu na wa visit any redemption center be a ben will be a obe say obe scratch card no dial star 713 star 27 hash be winning instant award. Also there are over 4 million worth of cash and prizes to be won. umpe we na apeding. Also cash prizes a woman 200,000 Ghana cedis, smart TVs, deep freezers, washing machines, kitchen appliances near Keka home. And to say Kahon 10 Food and Drugs Authority Ajatum say koyi papa. Mamin chairman ya otumfo bosom pra kuma hine Nana Kwafo the third chief of Enunho yeah, popularly known as Patapa Pokukrum, Apatra Pokukrum, Minia, cola, na or mercury, and wakudia dear in Assam Kutra. I could dear there, and he didn't tighten and bob on Sano, as I'm good to cola, Michano, papa, about drink, yes, finish your mouth drink. Max, I am Max, yeah, to us with address of but anyway, if you have anything to quick one, address of you know,
just relax. Because it's not for me to judge. Yes. What I say, the hypocrisy and these communicators, not or no per se, a display. It's for Ghana for you as what I say. Ghana to me become on side like we always say. It is ice, and you may be I'll be not sure how fast a baby water from ons and we are one of them. And say Ghana for be black as a pea. Say own crop for can any a Dr. Stephen Opuni near can a Collins down than we not be brave and say oh but said now issue way dear. And what dao Albert Cananias with a pantoma. Doctor
open the case. One more time, they were not able to prosecute.
It doesn't matter. They
were not able to prosecute him. They didn't have any evidence of wrongdoing. They didn't have any evidence of wrongdoing.
Yes, man.
Say the work of court. Now when him say you need evidence against you. Na o waba NDC abanya ba beto aso on corner court no man the final verdict on it whether say you
case
evidence against you and say any evidence against you and am see any evidence against you as a court be jaw it will ba na be twema dey asem na wo pa akire na dey etimu dey
asema ni
nkasa nkwanu ntu
asema ni nyina so
NDC mani nyina asem bi
asema ni nyina so
eti anhwehwe aso
ye ni nyina so what's the said the state resources and Fendi. I want you to so one prosecutor.
Fenuti.
I want you to so one prosecutor.
NDC Crawford in court.
Your mom 8 years. I want you to so one prosecutor.
Me say NDC.
They didn't have any merit. They didn't have any.
They want you to so I prosecuting so some way jan.
Someone from the question.
What is the prosecutor? Enti enyanwa.
Man from the question on the convict.
You see enyanwa. Say NDC appointees ni assemble omo nyina obi ahu ni asem yo mahama ni sunti yempamo no e ka say yenya awo mebo mo ni so no omo hu ni asem me de na meka no e ye 2 minute de amamo ya mamo 4 years it say ya ma ice block ni kra usuban ya obeda na di na kire how fast udi begina awie mu a ebe na ntem and I betena AC mu ebe che wo nsem
okay
address of agents
number 1 clearing agent when I change your mahama number 1 change your mahama or clear claim group opuninu we mu nyina
no when your mama clear no your mama na clear
na when clear
emra na eni omo
emra ben attorney general ya your mama wona appointing no attorney general na appointing no why your mama
me go prosecute o ma nka during your 8 year
clearing agent ben
your 8 years nka wo prosecute
Collins Dauda Dr. Ernest Thompson ni we mu nyina anya John Mahama na
Ampratwum what John Mahama enum kasa say wakele obi da
na me say
what John Mahama President Mahama enum kasa say wakele obi
president or say attorney general
say president
attorney general
the money to do din
me say
someone to do din someone to do din
attorney general na appointed
in this case
Ampratwum
attorney general acts on behalf of the president the state which is in the hands of the president he acts on behalf of the state which the president is the commander in chief.
Mrabenso na kyerɛ sɛ attorney general any the mandate to
file mandate but okay say president ni hwehwe na no
abam
again the last one before I come to the issues I'm stating my kind of several platforms as a swami interchange ye free so na more than 50%.
It's not true.
Man can we okay opportunity say obechi
swami interchange you men kan ewo online in newspapers said ebi awo be kind of papers mu no me process na hwase
yes
I lived it okay wait say you two
why didn't you complete in it
say you two crofo free ho service lines ECG there telecoms communications there Ghana water there yes sunning nyina me ho and I'm part of it but what I say say your corporate site kura rangu I was part of it okay e kwan ya ye fa so a ye diverted traffic me I played a role okay ye ma me briefing before say project no kura be sha ase no rangu came to me and me briefing on regional urban roads so I lived the process and you obi na be kan dey call so I actually me
the end justifies the means
but what I say you free so no
Ghana for no so am
fly over me and san e wo ho na mo di quota abeto so no fly over and say emre na fifi sabi do you know what went into it mo buy na fly over na me and say nyina ya wie what's it I'm telling you, mobile flyover ne me and saying no. We are in fact.
Say
flyover. It is true the flyover was done. The flyover. Flyover. Percentage now mine
additional lanes in a sad chain no. Ne additional lanes na say we bibia e best serve those of us in Suame no na ya clear the shoulders of the road they are no about become you are knocking a Ghana water fence on no ya bua creative space ni nyina na ya dada
okay so no constitute 50%
takwa rose so ni say rango na ye takwa rose ka Suame interchange you know the community ni moto mu nyina ya before Suame interchange we wanted to clear traffic macro community roads ya chira say community roads ya in fact BB road BB bread achiwonum nyina do you know what went on as Suame interchange you see roundabout proper no once na started no na phase 1 no we started with phase 2 phase 1 no the roundabout proper na started ye pillars e were roundabout no so and now we are finance minister ba parliament what sort as no kind or say they are continuing with the phase 2 whilst I started phase 2 you started we share phase 1 as no Oma abandon phase 1 no and concentrating on the phase 2 and toward the quota a mere asphalt ebeto so I was say man to nyum frɛ no na eye kwan no shame on you guys okay say ebeto na ham mochwa ntro
okay time no call
ebio time dem call sir we onu mo so be sorry sisi ya so okọ baby anambwa
Adam baby amekuli
so kwa menya time ni bia ka adwasa from the main because more interest to delegate system
can kito me na enko na me
mom de me hu ne say adwasa for ade a wo ye no is in the right direction but say me blame dia me blame anuafo ni nyina because omagu om papa ni mo say that was not right eto da me busa me say na nipa kura obo branya din pa na ya na sesen we anya bia na ya because say papa no oni kapra ne o ma esi yenkensi ka unya ne maso o mo pa sam nko mo kope bosin o mo de be ye yi ntintokwa ma but say mze obo bra na te say kwadwofo so die lumba die na we mu otwe we na we mu otwe we ne ade it doesn't help
Ecclesiastes be say all is vanity
say you much date na we ba na wonte ase a majority mu nyina ma no dodo nyina ate ase ka no tum ne nya na de o wie na so ye church leader do leader obi a maji influence ba mo ba twetwe na papa tin a wa build the whole of Africa e wi ase afa na nyina na mo ba ya ma anim gu ase aba so me de o mu gina o mu na so eye no efri ho no me mum de manage pa
okay so fin yen can be na say yemra for the time I can famra so the system so
Suame interchange
so can
Suame interchange me say ka kire ne
ye twam wo ho
ye e ba ne sen na runabout no so runabout no so e fu ya na nkrante edimu efusane
well roundabout
the roundabout efuya
everybody momo buy
more time
time me start the Alibaba mo ko gine ma no mo do say start interchange
Ampratwum 8 years.
In fact, Obeka ya ne ya horde ho. Ne ya horde. 8 years. Sema wo kan oni na gina bi agina so.
Ampratwum 8 years.
Yes.
Mo promise Asanteman 5 interchange.
Oh, yeah, can speak to Swami. I can apart from Swami dey no.
Promise 5
new interchange bi Swami ya promise one and na ye. E tu person who Swami asema. Me make am. You need defense bi a Swami. Can so ne
make Asanteman asem. Mo promise Asanteman 5 interchanges. And the Ayayane say in every budget biya na mo repeat those 5 interchanges. Ba akoko mo ntumi amaye. To mo ni bibi papa biya. To mo ni bibi papa biya. To mo ni bibi papa biya e de ma Asanteman. On the issue of Adwosafo. On the issue of Adwosafo. Senior menua Masco e kan yen. Me minimum die mu no me gidi ye say bibi inkomode bi entumi ankoso yi
okay
ena ede sa wontwi aba omo papa yi ase but enka esese emma no omo de omoni to bra omo papa abo ene etitiro a omo papa atete omo owo yemayim Professor Safo Kantanka enyo obi a obewu na de yetu na yi ase enie nka bra wa bono nka sa wontwi amba nka ne din will go outside wo wi kra no nka outside the globe ye bebo ni gabo kana ye ne be ya ade a ebe ye ni so ebe ya ade a ebe turn Ghana to the rest of the world. And so the negligence of the children ama sisia obikwa kas hey enti papa ibe wu nechi aye say ya ene nka wengu say so be wu nechi aye say nka wengu on be nechi se sama ti asia papa no mmu kompo no hwe nechi ne mano ase nechi pasa ne mano ase nechi pasa and engage mesre there is more time omunka omuhumbum na the day no no omuntu benje share no ma no mon lift the image of the papa no
okay
bra papa na abo no eni kwan say ye hide edi to baby a o say bohu dewro e ma mansan etumi ehu se na be ye obi nso akono say papa ibo bo bra no say owu nechi
all right
no obi ahweso e da boss e
fame da sepa enti Max delegate system your 10 minutes
ntimi fa 10 minutes
10 minutes yako
delegate system no they na wo hoda dan e won advantage and a disadvantage. And the Supreme Court ruling is or the abay no so one advantage and one disadvantage. Because a woman said delegate system no kaya at some point NPP abia offer baby to say constituency be any pay beto abayi obi obedi MP omun rule 20. What they are saying? Yes. So it will be my ABM about 90. For instance, it's a swami. At some point about 500. If you hold about 700. And now we are they call 964. And the recent one in I'm close to 1,500 or so. You could see say parties nankasano by ourselves. Try say you be expand na ama will be enye sika say what the better will be. Because sometimes the numbers in the doors was a nipa be 200. Na me will be at 10,000 in yiska.
Yes.
But so me 2,000. Na ukra say sika na wo chama 2,000. Nipa na beji sika no all right. But anya de betima to na adwene and betima influence in the decision.
Sure.
Oh say there too. The men on that in the parties ni nyina no decided say you be expanding kakran. In fact, some of us are of the opinion say it was say the Supreme Court and that now we were of that opinion say or say a card bearing member be at waba. When him say sa de no crown so a delegate system no so no. Equity NPP cry ekwan bi so. and NDC, I'm sure so almost in certain also Kotia.
Okay.
Because imagine so be how when you delegate. When you polling station executive, said the NDC for friend a branch executive. When you executive, by Juma Wayano, polling station executives need be how many say Jumano. And Omuntimi they can't match the person. Party ni Kuno. What you say? House to house or obey, or Tinaka ma campaign or obey. Sometimes we find say yeah, radio soon yeah, communication and case cost of them.
Yeah.
Or TB radio soon or no dia kokamu, ako chiremo or taxi him sabre mi mini ono na wo ha party na name. And so yakoto abana yes want to be. Afi obi say bedru baabi no obi anya moto. No obi anya fridge. No obi anya TV. No obi anya 10,000. No obi anya 7,000. Oh who I say 90 ye kra bra ye bre no mfaso be na wo so. Na ebu nipa na bem. Sa and edru baabi kra mpa obenya efie ba ko nipa be 3 or 4. Delegates room. It is obi anya 10,000 na say 40,000 na omko abedu omo.
Yes.
Na dia ha adwene kra no so say ye omoji saka sika no so ya no na o.
Obi abetibi.
No chirem meji we say na meji we say. Iti nipa ne te wa sa afa no say oh sa ye ne enko bre na ebi be di dia ma bi ebu adapa dia ma sensu ebeto.
Kata na aboa.
What you say? Any ebedi abro. Ono a won koto ntia NDC. Ana won koto ntia NPP so NDC a won koto aba no kra. Na ne frɛ no voter apathy no. Na no de ebufu aye den aba. But Supreme Court hwe a wo hwe say yema card bearing member bi anto aba, which I believe say eno beboa ama sika ye de to obi adwene so won koto aba no. Eso ate kra no. Entimi nyim free ho because ukun so obi enipa bi at some point ebi am fansa me no na ekọ contest onipa we will influence pa no say me beto wa ebi at the individual level I'll make that move. Sure. But the general you need be very difficult. What you say? So betimi akoto nipa ni nyina enye possible. But ne ehun ka no. As a political parties ni can entimi handle. Entimi handle.
Even with your dues.
Dues no to as 2 cities.
Oh, nimpa say na introduce
2 cities.
Na brand new do all nipa.
Yeah, go to about na so be introduce.
And then there's one thing say constituency be and we even pamper people. Yeah. 4 years no so no befa forms no. You end up paying for most of them. You end up paying for most of them.
Yeah.
Parties ringing you have at some point, I think the last day I calculated and paid for everybody.
Wow.
Not this one, the one before this.
Okay.
And paid for everybody. Okay. Even when I may met you and also no. Oh, how is the chairman want to miss one who's what you. Oh, that the double payment.
Yes.
It happens.
Yes.
Sure. It will be a way no mean baby 2 cities no crown in the tree heading. And let's not forget 2 cities no say will be a power. Ebi ayaya ti krom na ye also 2 cities in Yesika. Masa. Ko baby na ko onya 10 cities awadi afi. Wo pebi atonse sa wa to nkruma to we e de aye aduane. Me pa what
yes.
Nti 2 cities no sabi obi 1 city ye na de. Una obi ntomago ye na de menka ne sa. Enti no so no e ho asem da ho. But the tie so wo say wo ye every card bearing member. Under normal circumstances you have about between 1,500 to 2,000 people. Now every card bearing member about Betua, we are looking at maybe between 20,000 to roughly 50,000 depending on the constituency. So if I show it's almost the same as constituency be general election. Sure. Ukwa certain constituencies now you have huge numbers where it's a constituency be general election results.
Yes. Yes.
Easy deployment never costing. Oh, they may patch cost no why they bet you easy for worker because easy number of setups or mobile no and the how much or beji because a per polling station be our nipa mema rough estimate 10 and every polling station all my allowances no who will pay.
Okay,
it me who say after we no in as much as a call no year no it was a call to no some make additional pronouncement a chess state no should intervene in terms of resourcing processing no partly.
Sure.
The electoral commission there no state no should absorb that cost.
Okay.
Say NDC na an internal election, say NPP na an internal election, say PP say why CPP, whoever, whichever political party, it was set state, it take care of sa cost. Sure. And only be bed in Nibi. Every in terms of a year kwanya ye befa so a nipa no ebe free ya eti kumase de wonante kura obi du but the be mu ho no ma from the village to the district center no eno kura kwan wa but fortunately for us this time I see ye be mama every card bearing member to abadea then be a possible say betima in the polling station closer to the person the pressure will be on you the individual wo contest ne say wo mom na resources akane ka de be di prima no wo de animum ebe ye campaign say am ya 1 year say yemfa mo bo aye ho and it's practicality no me will say very difficult even a Supreme Court ama 1 year. Me who say very difficult say be. And na form sir. And na form sir. Because NDC aye be paying. The reason why NPP me assure say na ya twetwe ye nan afede na na ya pagya mu over 300,000 delegates hoping say can no be san boa assistance now. Because of the NDC go through. Omo making move na anko ye na omo recoil ona President Mahama election 2015 rather 2015 make I very well because in Crawford infiltrate
December 2015
process no ye nya MPP fo bi koto abani bi CPP fo bi koto bi ma wo because a card bearing member certain individuals so a or card ni bi wa ha obi wa or join party ni nyina bi so oba na so betu bi abi so it's implementation look but in as much as a year no but ne canos it also state ne bem say e bia e be hwe ne this way me proposal say be the last election what was your performance nti e bia state ne say ye de me ma rough estimate 100 million Ghana cedis e support the process. Last election, when you are 52%, you get 52% of the money. Okay. When you are 42%, you get 42% of the money. Okay. When you are 1%, you get this. Right. What you say? All right. Based on no. Now you want to say me imagine na me because if you cannot say share equally. Yeah. And now can say my NPP 50%, one my NDC. And I be my NPP 50 million, NDC 50 million, that's CPP. One 1 million, need 2 million. Now what are you saying? Let's say indirectly, one person will be needed. Me what I say. Name more performance. Any day be said this very one no. So be kwa akopɛ bosia. Na why you don't say the be a state seeker no dey be kosora. No akwa akopɛ na. Already say provision honum say electoral commission who perform to a certain year ye do sika. No yeah wa obewin. Wow. So we need dey refund do sika but me can say state never be support process no say be ya. So state funding of political parties and is it the way to go?
Me da say. Answer the meto so no. Me fa akwanya we so ada nana nhia so hene ase nana ya frempom na otwi mu Wednesday opay kids ko to national service and ade a esefata say abaye dwumayefo ya ne traditional leaders ebedi kasubom ama mpuntu aba ama ya mindful enti madana nase on that visit special visit na opay Ampratwum asem de ba santimem ya say NDC e wa ben mu a na santiman e fa ntomepa ifra and now me no work say it's on record every district in the region apart from the inner city roads are here apart from the Kumasi Express Road just started. And the district be benefited 10 kilometers road. District be across the 43 districts in the region. Across the 43 districts. What bless one you yeah. Nke yenisa. So for time no me boss so am there. Apart from roads are no my main card abandoned store projects are ya to also. these are projects.
These are projects.
These are roads. Yeah. One year be teacher.
Mama can carry.
One year be mama to also.
Mama can what to challenge. Mama can. Mama can. Me and I'm a write yourself.
Okay, Anto Abenzi. Unti me ano. Yanke Anto Abenzi. On the system of delegate system. Metete MPP for ni bi. Kase. Yewura ba omi aye lucky pa. Ebi MPP mpenimfo National Executive Committee of the MPP.
I don't know 1 year. It's statistics here. It is argument. Oh no, at the Supreme Court ruling was in next month in Statiana.
MPP.
1 year say MPP boy. So this argument don't hold.
MPP for be say, Baumi aye lucky pa nke tombe tu etiano no. Ketumbe tu etiano no.
MPP for
the National Executive Baumi was the bia on former National Executive Committee. On the issue of delegate system, yes, we agree to the fact, say delegate system infiltrating our system, I am monetized. Emma and to me ma ye candidates are ye fees or bet me a bomb for certain political parties. And because of resources and ICA I will be wenti. Not delegates a general at the Atu Abaman. Whether the person the competence or the competence or the competence to lead and not the competence to work now is another issue. But what most delegates look up to and they say, oh, where they discover Yenji Scano, Nayanko to Abaman. And may need competent people to lead various political parties. And on that score is good. But have we also considered the cost involved to expand a delegate system? And the implications are at the beba. In 2015, send a number of aircam. Ye similar thing. Ye bie yabato kra tenemu. Emo bi oye NDC ni bia eto abanibi. Ye nyon sunsanso. And no, I one of the sunsanso a di elusu 2016 elections. And because the Bocho report ni bi, the catcher and say, ye parliamentary candidates ni bi kra na omunye NDC fu. And now so say na NDC ni omakumum. Ye parliamentary candidates ni bi kra na NDC ni adan eni omakumum. Because of expansion, na obia betumi register ni nkofo. Wa ubetumi register more and ebetumi ama wa yeden wo wini. So people are omunya NDC for ebe decide ma NDC your parliamentary the obe lead your party no at the various constituencies. And you know at the how bebre and no and the National Executive Committee of our party every vote is no say it was so edwe kwa MY inti enya nsesa na yensa nkofa delegate system na yen steady system no na mwa ye ma yenye the needful and also ebia akwanya ema ye expand ye branch delegate system no enka na enka nimpa 5 na to aba. In fact we started with 2 uba constituency no ma omo na omo to aba edema constituency executives na ye branch chairman and branch secretary at the time. Na ye branch chairman branch secretary and the same nimpa mienu we what tam sika pudo e de komo omo a ombetumi decide ombetumi decide election the fate of the elections.
That's right.
And reviews about your party no ye increase in 5 ema branch chairman, branch secretary, branch youth organizer, branch women organizer. Upon consultations, bio, and who say no, yama branch executives ni na entwaba.
Okay.
Who call your various branches now? Your 9-member executives or our various branches. And the CCM no can say all the 9-member executives, chairman, secretary, organizer, youth organizer, women organizer, communication organizer, treasurer and 2 others. omo ina etu abane bi and no ba ye no at least yen ka say ama vote buy in na akofom but I minimize kakra apart from kakra and going forward and say expand there not due diligence yeah expand there yeah expand to say the Supreme Court can now yeah normal year who qualifies to vote who qualifies to be a member yen defining who a member is
okay
and no biasa
okay
yen defining who a member is say nimpa no or support the party no say uti say on dues on your card bearing member on your member of your party you can register with the party but you
not
can
in
decide
good standing.
But you cannot be you may not be a good in a good standing of the party in the no crown register no as I say a domo esuko na yehu omo ye party members of good standing and there should be a criteria to categorize those people one na members of good standing one na members of good standing na ye dey about ebia one you should register with our branch, any of our branches. 2, you should be a card bearing member of any of our branches. 3, you should be a voter at that polling station. 4, ABR, you should be also with your dues. Because political party here run here could be iska. And the introduce who per se ube take a decision in the party. But the party in the back on can also win was Yama who take a decision for the party.
Okay, fine. Well,
Mestre say yen domo esuko na yen critical analysis of who qualifies to be a member of
more 1 year until
the difficulty and I make about election electing.
Yeah.
Who ye MP very difficult with general, but you cannot compare that one to constituency elections.
Okay.
Because an over NPP more about 10. Okay. That you are electing.
Okay.
Into polling the EB and over setting up 10. And what these number of countless polling stations
yes.
Minimum the number that the NDC selects.
Okay.
At their constituency election.
Constituency all the executive members 28.
No, you don't get what I'm saying. I'm not talking appointees na make elected.
Elected executives.
Elected 20.
All 28 executives are delegates to regional level from constituency level to the national level.
At the constituency level, more about one constituency 28.
28 executives.
Sir.
Yes.
It's just
you two about AU. You two about AU 23. You two about AU 23. You two about AU 23. Now you call it 5. So 5 are also part of the executives. Omu ina aka omu to aba. So omu ina aka on.
Young anti-argument. They may patch and say, "Uko ye easy the logistics crown."
Okay.
Oh, they may patch.
Okay.
For 23. To one constituency. Now about one election center. Polling station. Or set up 23 booths. Yes.
Yeah.
Easy. No, make us say no. Tell them no.
Just a very difficult.
Easy benya sa because as we speak, they say who could be able to say who could nya nipa be 20,000.
The mass worker no. Yeah. Easy supported. Easy.
Onyanti argument in American. I'm not saying someone new.
But
this assembly
you are asking the.
This assembly make a Supreme Court ruling. No.
Okay.
And how difficult it will be for us, considering EC's own logistics. Whatever by election. First, no, more selected few from delegates. It is a cluster polling stations. No.
Okay, so
now we'll be expanded. If you happen to get about 50 people or more card bearing members, now one polling station who could set up 23 booths. I'm asking, say, you Benya, sir, or the.
All right, Maxwell, me da se me pacho. Jeff, abo Jamie Show, for number no eto homa me na fe 03220-83581 and 03220-83582 and 583. Ubetumi afre also brain ye. Okay, Kafra 03220-83581 83582 83583. Hello.
Ampratwum.
Yay.
Apa wuti sɛ
erade adome ho yɛ pa manko amekuni
Bosomcho Communication System.
Okay.
My boss of friend of her, what's my name to income organizer, no. Bibia Baby, hands down. Then the Regional Chairman and Akosi, they are great minister on a board. Now, Supreme Court rule no the by Majidisha and this is for the Abegana Supreme because your democracy, a G2 and a judicial politics, meaning a grassroots, your chassis free branches. No be anya konya beto abana me gidi se nipa na kwakọ elect no o gidi wonu mu so beto abama na millet ma ba be boa ma party no agya na so gidi se penfo ebe se papa ma bibia kokan na juma pa jo mama so na ndisi aba na ye no ya fa pa bon to machi na na pratum ya se akofu jo baba bo so mcho kwan su efi abidan contact to contact na se wa sha 1 month so ba be ye kwan no ya to ba de pempun to pay ye no nkoso e di sa ba bi papa na se se oba ye betuma bottom mu fo a me je bo so mcho fo ye so mtwe.
But I say, Mr. Ozo is saying hello.
Hello, Minia.
Yes, sir. Radiadum.
Yeah, Mr. Femi Yakub
Dombote.
Professor Kaira. Micha number, Namicha Nako send this region chairman, Namicha Bacham for regional secretary. Kaka Mekan said, about to delegates in Waina, speakers. Speakers are really against them. I'm saying, come on, Sansa, Officer, and Yamana, a hard me and this are more against the no. And this for you too. Now the American say, young fan by boom with them fantastic that lances on the man Muhammad. Upon what they done and the man Bush assassin. Let me show say a Brepom Ghana, Bepan to my pastor, Yakani and Pabwa, a better opportunity.
May I say also so the is saying hello.
Remember MPP media pictures. I mean, check your magic, the no for Kwapia Kuka, or the number 1. Amwo Kumaike, secretary, or the number 3. Adepo Kuteki, second vice chairman, or the number 3. Daniel Kokumensa, Mensa Blampa, or organizer, the number 3. And also Kwatin, so treasurer, and also quite in the number 2. In fact, media constitutional review committee, maybe I made disappointed by El Garcia now, or Montpellier Mahama promised March 2023. So Obabe Chemna, or Mantiman Capture. In fact, Miraho, and a bill of my extended term of office from 4 years to 5 years, both presidential and parliamentary, and so we are disappointed. And finally, the American Supreme Court ruling on the Senate expansion of electoral base, about some money class in the Amaswati, MPP, brave, and say, so they are quite afraid, could be quite difficult. It's almost a month to buy a before, and I am some not going for it, no. But the party member, fair dues. They are in good standing about some more decision.
Mate, me da say, me also so the NSM. I'm fella score bi na fe fancy.
Mr. Ampratwum.
Yey.
Me mo achala pa yo.
E jo so go kwasme do.
Ala pa ma me cha pa le mo abaso na kese yakubon china o. Na me cha no be jafo nyina. La kama kokofu aya tato jata me de neba. E se da je so mo tumal na France admako. E se abi bi secretary no asante do. Ola mu dikem. E se asante do grade no ba na chameki. It can buy time at the now, delegate system now. And then, Supreme Court to the other, the say, Swami, should a better by a German PP, and I send to know, a man there come like a bit of you. It is a sandy part warning now like what about the young to now. About by a national today, problem my own and Patamono. The better can talk. About so base our program, Lydia Mice. I said, why now? Yes, in the bedroom, young Tomau. But I didn't say delegate system. No, you put quality to be to just come on. You're not 2 years. I said, I bet Tom and so you could do what? You can offer who deal.
Okay.
Now, question delegate in Guano. It's a little bit. No, dear, 12 ball concert in the Anthony Biano. That's what 12
Medasi P. Yedibesi has a Sansa Gabia Ecrado, Power Sports, a bro. Medina and Anacabram, Cobran Meadow, Henwanya dia, Edobeko, and so him, Eradia Dumois, Mejoda, Ebesanso, Abba Abesum, Mede Eradijao, Macrao.